A spring hello to you curling fans from Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Of course, the beautiful scenic coulee that separates Lethbridge and West Lethbridge, with many beautiful sights along the way. You can even get the clubs out here in the spring of golf courses opening up. Maybe take a stroll downtown, many restaurants and shops there. Or you can slide on over to the NMAX Center as the Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship has taken over the usual hockey rink. It's now 4 sheets of curling, and we are into day 5 of the World Championship, and we are into session 13. Our feature game, China taking the USA. Luke Goley here with Hans Frauenlob. As the teams make their way out onto the ice, big games for all these teams trying to position themselves, trying to get into the playoffs. China needs some help and needs to win out to get there. US sitting in a pretty comfortable position, but they want to get into that 1 and 2 spot. They will keep plugging away here as they take on China. A full slate of games will keep you up to date with everything going on. Every game that important here in the 12-game round robin. There's the teams lining up, ready to go for those important words. Let's meet the teams here in our feature game. The lead, Xiao Shilin. Their second, Wang Jiyu. Their third man coming into the lineup, Ba Duxin. And their skip, Zhao Jian. They'll take on Team USA with their lead, John Landsteiner. Second, Matt Hamilton. Their third man, Chris Plies. And the skip, the Olympic champion, John Schuster. They come in with a 5-2 record. They're behind the 1-loss teams. No unbeaten teams left. Japan sits atop the standings at 7-1. Then Canada, Switzerland, and Sweden all at 6-1. Behind the US is Italy at 4-3, along with Scotland. Netherlands 3-4. Russia 2-5. 3 6-loss teams at 1-6. China, Germany, Norway, and Korea looking for win number 1, sitting at 0-7. All the games here in session 13. Germany and Norway both at 1-6 on sheet A. We're on sheet B for our feature game, China and the US. Sheet C is Switzerland taking on Korea. And on sheet D, Sweden takes on Russia. So important games. The NMAX Center in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. 7 years ago, they hosted the Women's World Championship. Success there, so now the men are here in this beautiful building. Good crowds throughout. And we'll say a good afternoon to Hans Frauenlob as the teams get set for the start of this matchup.
How you doing, Luke? Great to be here on a Wednesday afternoon, mid-tournament, and all of the opening game kind of settling in period is over, and the playoffs are still on the horizon. This is kind of the grinded out part of the week. 12-game round robin. It's a big game for the USA. You mentioned in the pre-game intro there that they're 5-2. They're right in the playoff mix, but they can't afford any slip-ups. This Chinese team pretty much has to win out from here as the ever-reserved Matt Hamilton high-fives everybody in sight.
He'll always take a high-five. And the U.S. comes in 5-2. China 1-6. They're sort of on that. They got to run the table to have any chance.
They do.
Still might not have a chance. They've been mixing up their lineup. We're seeing a different lineup again from them.
That's true. We've got Ba Duxin in at third today, and Wang Jiyu, who's played third earlier in the week, drops down to second, and Xiao Shilin, who has been out of the lineup and into the lineup, is back in the lineup at lead. So, well, the only guy that hasn't changed position this week is the skip, Zhao Xiang. But China, they've got a lot of skill. They like keeping stones in play. They do depend a lot on their ability to draw themselves out of trouble. Just haven't been clicking this week. We'll see what happens against a very tough American team who they've suffered losses to the Netherlands and to Switzerland. They've got a tough run home as well. So still a lot to be decided in terms of who the final 6 are going to be.
You could argue this U.S. team is playing better than they did through the whole Olympic Winter Games in that run. Tough to say that. They played very well at the end, but the whole event itself, they struggled early a little bit. They got on a run. They're trying to get that going again towards the end of the week.
That's exactly right, Luke. They were 2-4 at one point in the round robin in the Olympics, and then came back, got themselves into a tiebreaker, and they ran the table, and they're wearing the gold medals at the end of it all. Now look at this last stone draw before the game. China 56.3, USA 57.0, so by 7 millimeters. China has last rock.
The U.S. will get things started with their lead. John Landsteiner, 28-year-old.
Probably on its own, huh?
Careful.
Looks like
Sporting that brace on his right elbow. He's been battling some injuries there with all the sweeping. Still plugging through. Haven't seen him come out of any game so far.
No, John just quietly goes about his business.
Let it be. No. Start, bud.
Unlike the rest of the team, there'll be lots of constant communication.
Yeah, John's the quiet beetle.
China with the Redstones here this afternoon. One win, they beat Korea, as we see Zhao Xilin, 24 years of age, against the young Chinese team.
Next Winter Olympics will be in China. I spoke with their coach early in the season, and he said, as you'd expect, the preparations in China to prepare their athletes for the Olympic Games, which are going to be 3 years out plus, are already well underway. The Chinese reflected on the last Olympic cycle, and the coach told me, last Olympic cycle, they said, we put all of our eggs into 1 or 2 baskets, and this time we're going to have more baskets. So they're bringing in more coaching, more support, getting more athletes engaged. There are going to be a number of competitive Chinese teams over this Olympic cycle. And who will ultimately get the honor of representing them? Well, we'll know in 2022.
Go ahead, all the way to it. All the way to it, Hard, Matty. That way, Steiner.
Goes to the back of the 8-foot, around that center line guard here in end number 1.
What touch.
Again, the aggressive play early in these games has been a theme throughout this championship.
Good ice, good rocks, talented players. It's a recipe for excitement, and we have had plenty of that at the NMAX Center here in Lethbridge. More to come. Nice stone, front button. Good angle.
Matt Hamilton, pardon me. Oh, he's quiet, doesn't like cameras. He's a pretty shy guy.
Pretty shy guy, yeah. No, Matt is basically the polar opposite of shy. He thrives on it. And that's how he actually stays relaxed for games.
The bigger the spotlight, the better he is.
Bounce it off here. Just bounce it, leave him side by side. Bounce it, gotta bounce it.
Doesn't quite get there.
So setting up pretty well here for China here in the first, even though the play's around the center. There's Matt. This Chinese team does love to draw. They will really pound the brushes and work stones into good places.
Wang Jiyu, 22-year-old, technically very sound deliveries.
China made their first appearance on the international scene back in 2002. Sits front button.
Look at the rules of play. 6 ends minimum must be played. 38 minutes of thinking time with 1 60-second timeout.
Catch this is great too. Okay. So the shade low, out turn, in turn,
run back called for Matt Hamilton.
Oh, yep. Yes! Whoa! Hard! Yes! Yes! Hard! Hard! Right to it.
Nope. Runner off the back one. Makes the double kill. Opens up that 4-foot.
Nice shot by Matt, bailing himself out. You always love to do that as a player. If you make a mistake, you get a second chance. And Matt took full advantage. Very nice. China's still trying to use the center guards. And Xiao and Ba trying to wrap this around. There you get a great look at the Chinese sweeping. They're so well conditioned. Great shot.
Well, made the run back once. Why not make it again?
You can get all of them.
I know. What do you like?
Miss it, then it's still dead buried. I mean, it's hard to miss it high.
You like the freeze or you like the run?
I kind of like the run, don't you? I mean, I like the run, but I just think it's.
They like the run.
Okay.
Just nut it.
Right. Pretty much knows.
Chris Plies, 31 years of age, joining this team this season after Tyler George retired.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe having a rest, Ty. I'm sure he's watching.
Fun.
Peel that one off the top, open it up.
Okay, Chris.
It's never a replace Tyler George's. Try to fit in with this team.
Well, that's right. Much like Tetsuro Shimizu, who slotted in with the Yuta Matsumura foursome in Japan after a long time with Yosuke Morizumi. Chris Pleiss coming into an established unit, but looking very much at home.
90缺，10缺，就90吧，因为不行就粘上先，感觉不太好，控制他。给他磕3，这个不太好，这个现在漏一大半，稍微差一点。我们看
In the background, binoculars are out. Corey Dropkin having a look around.
要不然他一冲全没了。这稍微磕偏一点，最好偏一点。这底线这是正好。这一点我去，点行吗？
Bit of debate here, Luke, about whether to play to the back stone or tap split the front stone. Hard to tell exactly from the brush position which shot this is going to be.
Here's Ba Duxin coming into the lineup. And game number 7 now. 5 were at the second position. This is his second at the third spot.
Such a steadying influence. They do make the play to the back stone, and they sit 2. Very nice stone by Ba. A little trip on the corner guard there going by from Xiao. Puts it back.
对，那个稍微有点别，那个也别一点。
Solid.
Yep. Hard. Whoa.
Solid.
Whoa.
Big shot here, China with the hammer here in 1.
Whoa.
Close. Yep.
Good.
Very nice.
Shot, Chris.
Sits in front. 1 stone for Chris Plies. This U.S. team has played very well, shooting high percentages throughout. Their low game was game number 1 at 84%. That's as a team.
Good.
That's pretty solid, and that's what you look for over a long round robin. We've got 13 member associations competing here this week. It's a 12-game round robin. If you can maintain that high level of performance right through the week, you're going to be in it come playoff time.
我要想你别他一点就行了。我即使我不赢了，我留在5区，他现在有1分，他可以传这个，对吧？发现他那个球漏了半拉才，我就别他一点就行。
Did you ever think about hitting that top one, try and roll away?
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Luke. Yeah, that was definitely an option. A little more dangerous because there is a risk of jam, but China thinking here, well, maybe this is a way to get 3. Set it up a little bit.
可以啊，可以。线路 K 6，线路 K 的，偏大一点，线路非常好，没问题。线路 K 的，力量偏大，站，我前去。
Never afraid to duck around a guard.
减了踢线，
肯定是站。
This one, though, has got a little curling to do to be useful. Want to well right on front of their own. Oh, good angle. Nice shot.
Came down just in time. They have a little bit of room. Will lie 2.
Red Rocks belong to China. They've got the hammer here in the first. Behind the tee line, though, so if the U.S. can get to nose, they can get themselves out of jail.
It might all go.
We'll see how hard the back one pulls. It's the same situation we had yesterday where there's 2 rocks frozen, though, like 3 frozen almost. We're gonna have to, somebody's gonna have to go on that back one, so Steiner, you have to stay out of Chris's way for that him to sweep it, or you have to sweep along too. On the front of the 2, probably.
So from the dialogue, we can tell that John Schuster's gonna throw a heater here and try to unlock everything.
John Schuster, 36-year-old,
Come on, right there.
2-time Olympic medalist.
Whoa!
This one, stop.
Go, let's go!
Everything
Trying to get 2
moving.
out.
Yep. One stone sticks around.
Far enough?
Yeah,
Pretty good effort there, though, from Schuster.
The back one went easy. Incredible.
Lively stones here, so even when you make perfect freezes like
So I
that,
said, like, maybe the sand.
they're still vulnerable. Get a great look at it from the overhead. Watch them spring. Two stones in motion.
Go on that one, go!
Pretty good.
So Hans on the rule, can't sweep both of those at the same time behind the tee line, the opponent
Yeah,
rock?
just one sweeper behind the tee line. You can sweep an opponent's stone in motion. If it's your own stone moving, you can sweep it, but if it's the opponent's stone, just one sweeper allowed. Importantly for the U.S., they push that red stone into third shot position.
Force the look at a double or the hit and roll?
Yeah, hit and roll, take it into the neighborhood. You could flop inside behind the center, but that's a pretty short run for John Schuster. Never made the double. Got big separation. In great shape for a pair. Good look at the angle here. It's flat-ish, so Shaw would have to throw a lot of weight to make the double. Only has to move that yellow stone a couple of centimeters to be lying 2. Batashin looking at the angle for the contact point where he wants to hit it. I think this one will be moving.
A hush in the crowd here before Zhao Jian, first stone of this session 13 game.
Actually quite controlled weight here from Shaw. Has to roll it a long way. There's the hit, and there's the roll. He only has to push it a couple of centimeters, and that's a beauty.
Nice.
Great shot.
Delicate weight, controls that with the sweeping. Split the rings and now set up for a 2.
Good read from Ba. Good throw from Shaw. Alert sweeping from the teammates. China lies 2.
我是看啥？有甩，就是稍微难一点。
甩也很难，因为他那个我在那边踏板看都有点就稍微别。
China very much set up for a chance for their pair here.
踏板的劲儿，而且你犯不上，你要贴边过刮一张单位更难整。对。而且今天你打定，他也打定。
Well, John's got to try and kick this one over. Looking at Switzerland and Korea, first end.
Well, looks to me like an attempt here for Benoit Schwartz to potentially score 2. Switzerland right in the playoff hunt. Korea trying to get their first win.
Swiss had their first loss yesterday to Sweden.
2 red is the call, so it's a pair for the Swiss, and they lead that one 2-0.
Switzerland came back, knocked off the U.S. yesterday, one of 2 losses the U.S. have. Looking at giving up an early 2. Zhao Jian a chance to hit and stick, score that early deuce.
So after all the hard work, really important that you cash it in with the nose hit.
Hard.
They call it right out of hand. Is he a bit narrow?
Needs the hit and stick. And no worries, a little panic, but it's all good. To the top of the button it goes for the early 2. China strike first with the hammer. And a 2-0 lead over USA.
你给点完，大家就是稍微就是你给我们稍微先，因为这局差评5分钟，因为第一局稍微慢一点也行，因为有机会打9分就可以慢点。但是
我这个还是稍微柔了点，柔了，
还正常，属于正常嘛，就是没有可能那么大，还可以。行，这局时间又长，但是我觉得第一局稳一稳下来。
look above, and we have all 4 sheets in action. See over sheet B, China taking on the USA. China, early deuce, capitalized with last rock advantage.
Yeah, good first end. They went right after the Americans, made some freezes to the back ring. Schuster almost bailed them out with a nice unlock hit, but So Xiang made a great crosshouse double takeout to set up the deuce, cashed it in, and China with the terrific start.
We've seen lots of big scores throughout. Try and pick away. US will try and set up for their 2.
Yeah, we've seen some big numbers this week. The young Norwegian team had a streak there, 4 games in a row of dropping 5-point ends. So it's not the kind of streak you want, but there have been a lot of big ends this week. And I think that's because we've got fast ice, teams that all play aggressive strategy. We've got the 5 rock rule, so there's lots of rocks in play. And that's usually a recipe for big numbers. I've seen a fair number of blank ends this week as well, though, Luke. So teams can play defense when they have to.
And those blanks, if you see them go up, oh, a boring end. Well, it starts similar to this. A couple of shots made, someone makes a run back, and then all of a sudden, okay, let's make a run back and play for the blank.
Yeah, I think that's something in the game in the last 10 years. The big weight run back shot has, you never want to call it routine, but it's become a shot that's used much more often by teams. And that's why I think teams, when they play aggressively, they're doing that because they always think, okay, well, worst case, we run something back, get out of trouble. Back in the day, those run back shots were played much less often. Ice conditions better, athletes are better, technology's better. And then that result is that the teams play that shot a lot more often today. Successfully. We used to try it pretty unsuccessfully.
Line's okay.
It's always Matt, though, for now. My line's good. Lots of room, actually. Lots of room.
Watch how much this stone curls as it goes around the corner guard.
It'll go.
Great look from overhead.
Hip go, Chris, now. Go hard. You need every inch. Every inch, Chris. A little more. A little more. Need more. Need more. Good. Attaboy.
Right behind that corner. Nice shot. Players love this stuff.
And US has got exactly what they want. They're playing to the corner guard now. China, their first appearance at the Worlds was 2008. That was the best finish at a World Championship. They finished 4th. Wang Feng Chong. It's in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Stone sliding back in the rings, just going to hang on, but a good chance now for the Americans to deuce back. One behind the corner is safe.
Yeah. Strong. Solid. Close. Whoa. Whoa. Lead. Yep.
Here comes.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 Close. Clean. Yep. Yep. Hard now. Hard. Hard. Everything you got, man. Hard. Hard.
Matt grew that mustache pre-Olympics, Luke, and his wife didn't like it very much, but then it kind of became his trademark, and now it's probably the most famous mustache in curling.
Hard to argue with that one. He had a couple where he shaved it off before and then grew it back because they weren't doing well.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Don't see many mustaches out there anymore.
To be fair, that's true. Sometimes you get the full facial hair and goatee, but just the standalone mustache, you don't see that quite as much.
Or throw me just bored now, Matt?
I mean, I like the way that last
Swedish
one
guys
ran.
always go for the beard.
That was 11-5.
Same weight.
Same weight, all right.
That was basically bored.
Yep. Whoa.
Maybe a little less.
Lead.
Whoa.
Chance to really get things set up for the Americans here if Hamilton can nail this one.
Whoa.
Lance.
Lance, go ahead. Hard. Hard. Keep going. Keep going. Anything, Chris.
For a little inside flop,
All right.
just got a tiny one.
See the effect of that sweeping with the curl late.
Sorry, buddy.
The quiet weight able to manipulate that stone.
Yeah, it has some impact. Nowhere near the impact that it used to have with the more aggressive brush fabrics, but now that the brush fabrics are standardized, teams still trying to use that so-called directional sweeping technique with the down weight shots. It does help a little, but every little bit helps.
Here, though, China's turn to try and go at it and make sure they catch a chunk of it.
Just a little extra weight on that stone and a little bit wide, and Schuster can sweep it out. And there's the look at the coaches' benches. U.S. coach is on the left, and here's the Chinese coaching bench, and there's Dan Raphael, coach of this team.
He's a longtime coach with the Chinese women's program, and went time was Italy, Russia,
I think
a couple other stops on the way back to China.
Like half forefoot.
All right, zeros, 05.
A couple big coaching claims for him, taking Wang Bingyu to a world championship title in 2009, Olympic bronze medal in 2010.
I like the way.
Coach of Russian world mixed doubles champion. So, yep, Dan's had a lot of success as a coach.
No, it's Lance. It's definitely Lance.
Chris Pleiss trying to hide this one behind the center guard.
14-6, pretty close. Just Lance. At the last couple.
Good looking line. How deep is it going to go?
Go now. Hard. Hard. Perfect, Chris. Attaboy.
That's a great shot. The deuce is on. And here's the U.S. bench. Left-hand side, Coach Don Bartlett, Phil Drobnik, Corey Dropkin, the alternate with the binocs in his hand.
Don Bartlett's first year with the team. You see him behind.
Big shot here for Badashin. Trying to bail his team out with a freeze. If he doesn't make this, the U.S. could get 3, maybe more. This one has got tons of curl to do, so now they're going to go around the stone. Plan B. Cuts the Americans down. Well, pretty close. What do you think, Luke?
Well, it looks like it is shot stone to me. Back of the forefoot.
Really close. I think anyways, Chris, you're still trying to go like this, though.
Yeah.
But I think you just want to throw like here. Yeah. Because if you chick our yellow, it'll stay, right?
Chris Pleiss looking at the overhead screen just to see where the rocks are.
Keeps asking for him to show the
Come
overhead.
on, give me the rocks, give me the rocks.
590, yeah.
So, while you're enjoying the pictures, the players are too.
Do get that benefit when you are the feature game out there.
That's right.
The TV game that shown up on the video board.
Hard, Matt.
Hard!
Have to get by their own stone in the front forefoot.
Hard, you got it, Matt.
Hamilton on the inside sweep trying to hold the line straight.
Yep. Roll that off, John.
This, it's over curling
now.
Okay, Chris.
Okay, Chris.
Just a little soft.
Information relayed. It is the U.S. line 1.
You know what I mean? I'm putting a half. What I'm visualizing is like a rock off.
你要这个，
我要是打定了呢。
打定的话，他打往里甩吧，完你再找他这个行，因为这个可以放在这可以留。
OK， 可以。
你想哪个？
咋甩
？OK，
呈现3秒，我看一眼3秒。
Chance for China to set up for a force now.
打往里甩。
Still lots of American stones in the ring, so China has to be pretty careful where they leave this one.
3秒，我这个点应该。
Want to set up a double and
点3秒点。
get the Americans back in the 3 zone again.
Well, first of skip stones in the second end.
3秒。
Zhao Jiang.
李艳。Whoa， hard。3秒小一点，3秒。hard。志林。hard， 汤底。别停，志林。hard。Whoa。
Hits, rolls,
OK。
and sits back 4 foot. Lies 2 for Team China.
你俩是怎么了呀？
Apologizes to his teammates for making them work so hard. Zhao going for the oxygen.
John,
It was dead buried. What's that?
it's not dead buried.
It was. It is dead buried. It's exactly where it was.
Look at the hack. You can see a quarter of that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, now
Well, they
Hamilton
got a
thinking,
clock
did they
running,
touch
so-
a stone going by? And
It's fine here.
John's not too worried about it.
But where's this one? Are we trying to smash this?
No,
Or are
I
we
think
trying
you
to
go
just-
right on the nose of it.
What?
I think you try and leave it right in front of it.
Do you think I can make it? Lance, do you look like you got a hole down there?
Yeah.
Does it look like the hole's a rock wide or not?
I think a little smaller.
I mean, I could probably throw like board through the hole. I mean, this is obviously a little scary, but they can't cover everything. I can still draw.
If you
I can make
throw,
board and probably get this out of the 4 foot.
if you throw a board though and roll to here.
But this rock's going nowhere. It's just going stuffing right here under the guard.
Yeah, but that one's locked on it, right?
Yeah.
No, because I gotta hit it so thin to get it locked that I'm rolling.
You could throw a hack at that, kill those two, and stuff there.
there.
I think coming through the hole is the best shot. If the hole looks there, okay? So Chris, if we're playing this,
What do you
I'm
think,
gonna
this
throw
hole there?
board and we're gonna take this ice, okay?
It's pretty small.
If I'm throwing this, we're gonna take board and we're gonna take it right there, okay? Let me look from down here.
So 2 options. He's
I mean,
going
if the hole's
see
a
what the
full
hack
rock,
looks like.
I can throw control through there too, but I think I gotta
I
throw
don't like
board to
this.
get through there.
What are we
John
doing?
Maybe even hack, honestly.
Hole?
Hole's getting smaller and smaller.
I just don't think the
I'm
other
not
shot
saying
is
that.
that good for us.
There's a
you,
hole.
You make the other one.
He
He
cannot
still
get
sits
the
there.
nose on the
This will go,
redstone.
Chris. Throw you solid hack.
Okay.
Think
Really
we can
don't
lock
have-
2 if I hit solid hack? and
Guard's
hit-
not really in play.
I don't know, John.
Should
I
be in
think
play.
this one's going.
Yeah, but if he feathers his own
Okay,
stone
but
in
this
the
one's
top
gonna
4
be behind
foot,
ours. I think it's okay. Board, stand up,
trying to
though.
whip this one around, he's looking at 3. So
Little less.
he's got to get by that yellow stone in the 8 foot. That's the tough shot. If he clears the front guard going by, also bad, but less bad.
Solid.
Yep.
Hard! 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 Keep going!
Big brush, Landsteiner and
Hard,
Hamilton
Keep going!
by the front.
Nope.
And they'll touch the guard.
Okay. I did not like that shot at all.
If you're going to crash one, that's the one to crash.
Okay.
You should have some kind of shot on your last one.
他肯定是打定这个要1分，
OK，
对吧？
可以。
OK。
Didn't seem like a full team was
我感
on
觉
board
以后
on that
3
call.
秒
John wanted to throw it through the hole right from the get-go. I think the others were thinking that's going to be tough, and it was.
3秒打完，甩到中间或者甩到他那个。
China now looking to hit the yellow stone, roll it a little bit to the left of our
Okay.
picture.
脑袋下大嘛，有点大。
Kind of top 4 foot behind that front guard, and that would force the U.S. to take one.
OK，自己来吧。
Looking to put the pressure on Team USA.
3秒。hard。whoa whoa whoa 1 2 3秒。
我自己来一下。
whoa clean hard yes
Looking to control the roll.
oh
Little inside
Okay.
flop.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Russia, Sweden over on sheet D, 2-0 Sweden leading.
Well, and Sweden lying 1. It looks pretty well protected. So Sergei Glukov, tough shot here. Looks like he's going to try and jump off one of his own stones in the wing and get to the stone on the button.
But I think it's way better than throwing
Just
this,
goes
like,
by,
super
so it will be a
aggressive.
steal
I just ripped
of a
this
single
on the
point for
nose.
Sweden. That puts them up 3-0.
Lucky they didn't clip the back one out and give up a bigger steal.
Yep.
I mean, I can get here though.
Sweden,
I just have no idea on the
one blemish, a loss.
You know what I mean?
Yep, they lost to
To
Scotland. That's
And
right.
Bruce Mallett made everything in that game.
You guys want to throw like back 8 foot and
Yeah,
put it here?
Nicholas Sedin, I did their game last night.
I mean, if you're back 8 foot and, you
And,
put it there and we chip
against
this, it's a good
Switzerland.
chip.
Should
Well,
probably outcount that. That's
Doing
fine.
another game.
If you like it, I like it.
Tough
like
shot
it,
facing
but
Schuster here.
Only
But
if
yeah,
you do a
Sedin
scoring
looked
now.
really dangerous last night. They've got a game against the Canadians tonight, which is a mouth-watering
Take another
encounter.
inch and throw back 4.
What's that?
You like take another inch and throw back 4?
Yeah. Chris, give me 1 more inch. I'm just going to throw back 4 foot.
I think a good 4-0 maybe.
So
Okay.
draw
Heavy
down.
draw.
I'm saying like 95.
Has all about half of each of these, so that's the problem. You're drawn down. You got to
Exactly.
still deal with the stone in front.
Yep. That's the danger rock, the stone at the front of the 4 foot.
Facing 3, John Schuster.
Yep.
Needs to get this one to the button.
I think mine's okay.
Wait
Careful.
there.
8
Careful.
close 8 close
9, 10.
That's back house weight if it's 9-10.
Hard Lance. Get by, get by,
Gotta
get
get by. And we'll touch it. Does it stop on the button to still get their one? It'll slide too far. And
Steal
it's
of
a
1.
steal of 1 for China. A little misread on that one.
Yeah, it's
Missed
one
the
run.
line call, and it is a 3-0 Chinese lead after 2 ends of play.
这样劲儿，因为他怕劲儿大，直接皮儿15的。哎，不是，他打球还比较那啥，比较稳。第3局，
还是
我感觉你觉得金阳他会打吗？
我感觉我那个球还是往中间来好点，往边上不好，除非。
You know, Derek's gonna be like, just split the house and take your 2 guys. Yeah. Truth, though, it's true. I mean, they even missed a shot, and we still got it cluttered. We go over here the whole end. It's just a gimme of a deuce, and it's 2-2 right now. And that we make a bad shot, it's 2-1. You know, I mean, fine, I missed my first one.
Back inside the NMAX Center here in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship 2019. Luke Kohler here with Hans Frauenlob.
上区小一点点啊。
线路稍微有点小。
We see China stealing a point in that second end.
金阳敢站位一个。
Took advantage of a couple misses and maybe a bit of a line call, a tough line call.
Yep.
But they may have got it on a hair earlier or let it go a hair more, and they might be able to get their 1.
Yeah, they changed their mind a little bit. They were going to throw back 8-foot weight originally, and then they cut the weight down to back 4. Halfway down, John Schuster called him off because he said careful. He was worried about it tracking a little bit straight. But that little bit less weight dove a little bit harder by the time they jumped it again. It over curled. So, yeah, a delicate shot. It was a tough shot. He only had, 2/3 of the rock to throw at.
Out a little bit here, guys.
So it was no gimme.
Line's okay, though.
Chinese are playing well.
Still not Matt. That's all. 15-8.
Probably go touch. If you want.
Good, Lance.
So we'll see the same thing again. Center line guard, corner guard.
下楼 K
7，这个环境没。
7正常带着点儿，
7切6，
正常带，
6还行。我看见小的。
正常带，正常带，正常踩一踩。
OK。力量还行。
线路非常好，力量小不小？
还可以，不小。
来，不小，下
And this
线
is。bread and butter for China. Drawing around guards.
6区，
有点掉大了。
来，可以来，可以来。
问小鱼小，我怕全。
没，对对对。
Spot on so far with those. 89% on their draws so far through 2 ends.
Or do you want to go around the corner?
I've seen a lot of this team playing in the Pacific Asia region. This is a real characteristic of their game.
I don't hate the freeze, do you?
They sweep it all day. Get stones around
We'll have
guards.
an opportunity to get out. Tap it a little bit, that's fine.
Close to the line.
Yep.
Yep, hard. Line's tight. Hard. Matt, you got to go here. Okay, line's good, actually. Line's good now. Easy.
Little
easy.
tap.
Whoa!
Right off, right off. It's Chris spinning. You can stay a little
Whoa.
high. Doesn't bounce too hard. Yep, perfect. No, that away, Lancer. Beauty foot.
Tiny bump. Nice shot.
All right, let's make 4 in a row. Right
China coming in a 1-6 record really need to win out to give himself a chance, depending on what happens above them in the standings. But they've dug a mighty big hole to try and get out of.
Yeah, they have. Haven't performed fantastically this week, and they staged a comeback against the Japanese, but fell short. But you look at this point, and you look at the record, and you just sort of say, well, you know, can't control what everybody else does, so just play the next game, try to win it. There's a great inside freeze.
Set up the angles in their favor. China's never medaled at a world championship.
Bumping this one back to here-ish.
Yeah, they've had a lot of good teams over the years.
I mean, you can go here too. It just doesn't do us that great.
Right. I'm wondering if is Hackwain on the one they just threw any good?
A lot of good players.
Yeah, it's just gonna spill it to the open, but and loosen this off though. I don't think so. I mean, this would be great, but they're still under here.
Do you ever just freeze it one more time?
Let's do this one, Matt.
You can also freeze this side, John.
What's that?
Or freeze this side of it.
This side?
Yeah.
Then it just wires it to go, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go here.
Let's go around it.
Bit of a debate about the shot.
But all important to lock in.
Yeah. At some point, you got to decide, commit to the shot and play it.
Right off then.
It's a ways out there, so stay close.
Stay close for line.
Talked about freezing, but they're going to draw around that pile.
9-10, right now.
Let her die.
Sweepers think it's pretty heavy. Does need to go past T line to get behind cover.
Line's great.
Stay with it though.
Good looking good now.
That's a real nice shot.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Great shot.
That is 75.
Didn't even really need the sweepers on that one.
No, that's a save the sweeper shot for sure. Throw it cold there, back 4 foot behind cover. Great. Sweepers go. Thanks, Matt.
Is this one just a matter of trying to close in the scoring zone for Team USA?
Yeah, well, China just trying to follow this one down and exactly that, neutralize the scoring area a bit. China pretty happy to force the States to take one here. This one has got a pile of curling to do, though, like Hamilton's. They're hoping it stops, but it's going to just go a little bit deep. So it opens the door for the Americans. A big pocket there now. And those scoring areas now pretty tight. USA line one fully covered. They duck another one in there, and you can get your 3 the hard way. All in the 4 foot.
Second of the same shot now for Matt Hamilton.
Easy if you can. Whoa, switch. Over line.
John Schuster will love that anytime you can throw 2 of the same shots.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. John's been quoted about never leaving the same shot twice.
Hard, guys. Hard, far as it goes. Hard, never off. Keep
Great
going.
looking shot here. Can they get it in there for second shot? Yes, they can.
Wow, that just continued to slide. Tucks enough of the inside.
Is that difference in getting on it earlier, huh?
Right, if we had to sweep earlier, you don't get the curl like that. Yep. Right. I gave you the same broom.
Maybe half of it available for the Chinese to make a play at. They're going to have to flirt with the stones in the front, though, as Ba Dijin throws this one. If he ever clips the American stone in the front 8 foot, could be really ugly for the Chinese.
Oh, got to get by it first.
Exactly. That was the danger. Oh, they snuck by. Wow. That was close.
Knew they could only get 1.
Yeah, but that's a great shot. Fantastic. So close to that stone in the front 8. If Ba ever clips the yellow stone right there, it's all kinds of trouble for the Chinese.
How didn't that touch it?
I think it must have.
We tapped it on the nose is probably okay. We got a pocket here too. Okay.
I saw a puff of smoke or a
he's got
spark
another weight
going
coming
by.
down in here, guys. 90.
I think it's a shade faster now. 90, 95.
It's a game of millimeters.
4-5.
A few millimeters,
right there. Not even
few millimeters
a
that gave the hammer to China in the first end.
Yeah, that was more like a game of microns.
Terrible. Might need to go buy it, honestly. Let's go. Yep, go.
Don't really like the line very much on this one.
Go both you, hard. Okay, well.
Going to sit on the corner. Now they create a pocket for the Chinese. Matt Hamilton Gives the rock a kick.
Bah.
Yeah,
Touch. I don't think it moved.
The curling karma there.
粘磕也行。
因为
Chinese kicked the corner guard last end, and Hamilton kicks one this end, so we're all tied up in the kicking guard
他那
department.
磕点到你了。
啥？看就往这旋粘。
我觉得我问粘好一点。
你就往这粘，
如果力量大了，蹭一点滑过来。对。
Angles are good for the Chinese. They can hit the front
打
stone,
好，但是不成的话就不好办了。
hit the back stone, and kind of spin a little bit forward and sit behind cover,
我可以
staggered.
注意小一点。
对比这个。
啊。
Taking a lot of ice though. I think they're
Everyone
just
is dry.
thinking-
我感觉差不多这点就行了。
Leave the backing for yourself.
Well, I think that if yes, if you can do that, just sit right in front of the American stone. But I think they'd like to get behind cover too.
但是这球漏很大，你可以
Because we
先
saw from the stone
打
that
定，我感觉逼的。
Deshin
打
just
定的
threw
话，
that
我至于我怕啥？我怕
you
打定
can't throw it
他
hard and straight and pick it out. So I think
我
the
是打
Chinese
定
would like to
他
get
配合
behind
打
cover
我
if
当
they
你强
can.
哥就连找都没有，我先粘着一个废他所有球，现在。
你先粘完，要是能稍微
最好效果是
Can
从外边一
accomplish
点，
both
然后
of
这样
those
是。那我就按提线投，稍微力量可以偏大一点，或者说不能小。
提前看着你这个
我
点
们14秒23左右啊。
8区78，
等等线路，等等线路，等等线路。
8区
喝水了。OK，线路可以啊。 哇，志林，
Waiting for this one to curl. Starting to make a move now.
再下志林，
Xiao trying to
下到底。
work that curl.
下，上楼。
Little tap, little roll.
A little feather. Not quite enough. Pretty good.
至于除了千
But I think the Americans are still lying one.
听错了。OK，我是出来看着点。千万不要。
Needed that to go
U.S.
another
Canada
quarter.
has to deal with that stone. Can't leave it there.
Yeah, they can't.
unless we can work one in here, but I don't think it's getting there.
You can get to the nose. They got by that one with.
I mean, I guess you could. What's that?
I think you can get to the nose.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to give it a
Give
try.
me
all we
less,
got.
Chris.
Do we ever want to tap it on the nose?
We just got to get a little inside
Did you ever
nose.
guard it?
If you can
Got to be
get,
dead weight in there.
I mean, I don't hate the tap, but I think like just play for the natural freeze,
Could.
and we can sweep it once we got a good line.
Same way.
If you guard it,
Yeah.
then the Chinese
Same
will
way.
just draw around the other side.
Yes. Close, yep. Line's tight. Hard.
Soft too.
How much we got?
Just T.
Yep, keep going. Got to bounce it.
Hard, trying to make this bounce. Hard.
This one is looking a bit light.
Hard. Hard, you got to stay high and bounce this. Hard and bounce.
It's all
this,
over the
bounce
front.
hard.
Just didn't have nearly enough weight for Chris.
Grab my hand. Sorry. It's okay.
You got a pick on your side or something, or what?
I felt like I was grabbing in my hand.
我不行，我就粘上了。
Chris, you
我要
can
是
hear
他们
just
摘
over
如
here
果我
thinks
但我不太
it's
想
kind of grabbed out of my
我
hand.
想
Maybe that
如果
just
你
picked up some
刻意
debris.
甩一点的话，他一打这俩就没了。
这边你喜欢吗？
你顺势投一个才能打。
但是咱顺势投，如果咱站上他，其实没啥太好办法。
对呀，
Chinese could make a play on the outturn side as Schuster implies the con.
他一打想过来。
他打完有没有冲这个挤这个？应该没有。
If they can ever come around the right-hand side of our picture as we see and
这差不多。
get it front butt, the angles would be
可以，
outstanding
我
for
觉得
them.
可以这个。
OK
你最起码
Come around the left-hand side, yeah, you can
防外出不去行。
OK，咱控制这
Red
就
yellow.
控制可能好一点。
You'd leave the Americans a shot. You may get one there on the other
不
side.
用非得可以稍往上一点，把他小心为啥挡着就行。
我眼花了，
这儿 OK，
打不了。
Look at them all stacked up behind that one center guard.
那最好不行，留前面挡线。
Everything overlapped.
Now is this going to be a different speed? Haven't seen everything's been on the other side of the sheet.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
今天晚6区。
14秒2。
They got a bit of margin for error short here.
Let's look in Switzerland, Korea. Third end. The Swiss have that 3-0 lead.
Clean, yep. Whoa,
And Korea looking for win
yep,
number
yep,
1.
Whoa, yep. Whoa.
They've mixed up their lineup
Yes,
as well.
they have.
Lee Jong-jae throwing his
Exactly.
actually fully skipping. Is that 2?
Well, it's close. One for sure.
线路非常好，正常。
Just a single.
志林1-2秒。
So Korea on the board. So yeah, Korea making big lineup changes this afternoon in an effort to kind of get something going.
Meanwhile, a big sweep here by China. Get around everything. Look at that, right to the button.
That's what they love to play. They will throw those shots all day long and make a lot of them.
I guess they knew the weight.
Oh, this, as I said, I've seen Zhao Chang You think, how does he get it there time after time after time? Well, when you got sweepers like this, so throws a soft handle, it always finishes. Terrific shot. That is perfect.
Chip out.
Maybe.
Maybe. I kind of think we just slaughter the front, John.
Yeah, I agree,
I just
Chris.
don't understand. I just don't know what it's going to do.
No, but it might.
Although, you know what? I guess if
Yellow,
I,
red,
if
yellow,
I
red,
smash
red.
this, I just, honestly, I guess
Even if this just gets to
if
here.
I could get this to the yellow, I think that's the best we can do. I think you're right to slaughter, but I think we want to get this past this and have this edge catch. That's the best we can do.
Is that there?
It is. Oh, yeah.
I kind of like what Chris says. I think you open a
Well,
lot.
I mean, we're slaughtering it into that pile, Matt.
I was
but
thinking,
I think you high side it. So
Right.
this
I'm
touches
with
this, you
Matt on
might
this
have a
one.
shot over here,
and then you might have this in.
or you'll have
Yeah.
something
All right,
here
I mean,
potentially.
they're essentially in that they're almost the same.
Yeah.
Like, there's not
Yeah.
really much difference between the two.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just wondering if I make this one, though, if we happen to get this leaves shot rock and this rock stays guarding this, and we're
Yeah.
shot rock. That's the only
Exactly.
thing I think about this one.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I play the yellow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to
It
leave the
is-
Chinese stone front
There-
forefoot, but you might be
It's
shot
almost
guarded.
impossible to go yellow there without touching
It's
that
not,
red.
though.
Said
There's
almost.
a quarter rock, dude. There's a quarter rock.
There's an inch of that rock, John.
Edge to edge, there's a quarter of it.
Chris isn't so sure.
Okay.
But our
Mass
yellow
not
mic
sold.
was spinning off anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the top then.
Long
We have to
discussion
make
there.
contact. I'm making
Get a
contact.
chance.
Yeah.
Keep you up to date. Russia and Sweden over on sheet D.
Over the top, it's probably
Okay,
closer
we've
to
got some
thirds, but
Russian
yeah,
stones in the
3/4.
rings. We have a
Quarters is
Swedish
close.
stone in the front of the forefoot, so
Looks like it was one back forefoot right underneath the legs.
yeah. So Sergei Glukov here, trying to get back in the game.
Whoa.
Oh no. Blows it by, and so it's another steal for Sweden. That was a chance for a deuce for the Russians, but it's another steal for Sweden. They're up 4-zip. And they would love to finish this game early. That rearranges the stones.
That clears a lot up for Team USA. They have a few different options now.
Well, now if you're China, you can play the red stone in the back.
Here's a look at this shot from John Schuster across the top. Gets rid of the one red. Yellow kicks out to the side, so it's another stone they can use.
It changes the angles up. It's better than it was, which was pretty ugly.
They got
Now
the
it's
in off, they
just
got the
fairly ugly.
其实我觉得直接打掉呢，直接打掉就行。对呀，
Yeah.
直接没必要小力量。
Zhao can never make a little play on that red stone. It's the right-hand side of the forefoot on the tee line.
强，你别着急，你
Bump
过来
red
看
into
一眼吧，给
yellow.
他眼睛
Spill it away yourself. Say to Schuster, okay, you can play some kind of a pinball shot to get one. That's all you're getting.
就
And you're probably gonna steal.
头没用。
Would you ever put the guard back out in front?
In this situation, no. I think now you got the Americans wobbling. So clip the red, hit the yellow. I mean, if you hit front yellow, you know, that's bad, but it's not disastrous. It's still going to be tough for America to get two.
稍微顶不到。
I think it's worth the risk. You can really demoralize your opponent if you can make him look at three in a really difficult situation.
That's a call here. Zhao Jian
哎
leading this game 3-0.
Hard! Hard! Hard, guys, go!
By that top yellow.
Okay.
And we'll hit.
That's beauty.
Good, the shooter even rolls away. It's
Yep.
one less option for Team USA.
Exactly. So John's going to have a shot, but it's going to be a high degree of difficulty shot.
不敢放了。
And off that side yellows.
This one might be, though. It's not there. It's, I mean,
It's definitely this.
oh, all day. So
So the U.S. is looking at
Half a rock.
2 for
I
sure.
think I almost want to
You'd
throw.
measure for the third if you were
alternate
China.
this time.
Okay.
Well, no, I guess
Looked
not.
like 3 to me, but it's very close on those.
Yep, they count.
John's
Back
hoping it
stone.
doesn't come into a measure at all.
Well, exactly. If you're measuring after this shot, then chances are you're dropping a lot.
Anything thinner, they should get less than 3, though, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Damage control time for John Schuster. Needs to hit about a quarter of that
There's a
rock,
chance
drive
we
it
can
into the
catch top
pocket.
side of this thing and have it get back and get us
Never
2
know.
here. Might be possible. Nice thick half.
I was thinking if he hits the one on the tee line first, he might be able to get 2 out of it.
Wow. Not really thinking about that at this point.
I'll try and come off the side one. Big shot right off the back one, push it out. And will they get 1 out of it? I don't know.
It's going to be close.
It looks like it is 1 yellow.
Single
and
point.
It is, wow.
Nice
Pressure
shot by
shot.
Schuster. Yeah, that was a
In
big
off
one.
facing 3. And John Schuster comes up with a key shot. Look at this one.
Key thing for him was hitting just half a rock or less. You're going to get something out of it, and he does, but it's only a single point. Really nice shot under pressure, obviously. But terrific end for the Chinese. They forced the Americans to take a single point. They nearly stole. They get the hammer back.
Yeah, just a tad thicker.
2 up.
It does. You just got to make sure you hit the side of the one going sideways.
Yeah.
You literally need like probably that much more.
Let's get a steal here. Right back in it.
第一个是地影还是站位？我觉得稍微
站个位，我觉得咱给站一个，有一个站一个，咱打甩的话头还能往里甩。
咱别整抠搜的，咱就是正常，要是有分咱就正常打，咱不危险。
站个位，哎，那个
你说比如说咱站个位，他站个位，完了咱边区，
咱边
上悬一个，他完了他站个位，
站位之余就可以不就可以悬跟呐，或者轻磕啊，把它站位分开了，就小点劲儿，后驱力呢刮开都可以了。
不是，他站个位，完了咱站个位，完了他又站个位，咱是往中间来还是边上悬？边上悬吧，边上悬，给他空着，他万一一会儿没站上，咱接一个踏板就打掉了。可以。尽量站稍微边上那儿呗。
你还是多关注一下时间就行，不是力量。
Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship 2019. 3-1 is the score. A deuce in the first end by China. A steal in the second. They threatened for a steal, but a great shot by John Schuster and Team USA. We'll give the hammer back. Try to go for the steal. By the American side, trying to get back to the playoffs, get onto the podium for the first time since 2016. It's been a while since the Americans have won a World Men's Championship. They have to go all the way back. 1978. Bob Nichols.
That's not good. Really?
Picking up the world title.
No.
It's been a while.
I think it's in.
There's not a lot of curlers that have more Olympic medals than they do world medals. John Schuster is in that boat, but he's not going to complain. 2 Olympic medals, a world bronze medal.
Yeah.
Well decorated.
And if you're going to have a good tournament, the Olympics is a good time to have it.
And this is a game they cannot take lightly. They're down 3-1. Go hard as we look at tournament numbers here. 80%. Xiao Jilin, of course, playing the bulk of those at the 3rd position.
Yeah, Jilin really struggled early in the week, and they sat him down for a few games and brought Ba Dejin in. But the rest seems to have done him good.
Pardon me, that's at the 2nd position.
That's right. Corner right up.
Wang Jiyu been at the 3rd, now in the 2nd position.
You know, this Chinese team is dangerous. They've got talent. And 4th end, John Landsteiner, 90% for the tournament, steady as.
Okay. Good.
Well, there's no fluke that the Chinese are up 3-1. They've outplayed the Americans this afternoon.
Yeah, right from the start,
Get it up to the line.
they just sneak out the draw shot challenge win by less than a centimeter.
Nice barrel answer.
And then they capitalize with the hammer.
Good separation between the center guards for the USA. Makes it hard for the Chinese to double clear them. China, that 1-6 record, they'll take on a couple of contenders. Scotland and Switzerland left. They also have Norway and Germany, whereas the US has a tough finish. They'll go Canada tomorrow, Japan, Sweden, Norway to wrap up round robin after this game. It's a tough run home for the Americans. No easy ones at the World Championships anymore. Every team here has got skill. perfectly around that corner guard. So here we go. Who's going to blink first? A little speed wobble out of the hack there from Matt Hamilton, but 89% for the week. Playing really well.
Line's tight. 6. Okay, hold it. Just clean, Chris.
Yeah, he's playing as consistent as I've seen him play. He's had some ups and downs at previous World Championships, but game in, game out, he's been rock solid. Playing in his 4th World Championship.
Whoa, leave it, leave it.
Good shot.
Very nice stone there from Matt. Yeah, I've noticed, you know, a subtle change in the team dynamics as you'd expect with Tyler George retiring and Chris Pleiss coming in. Matt's always contributed tactically, but I think even more so now. Wang Xiyu 82% for the week. He gets much more involved in the strategy calls than he used to.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it's allowing them to play a different type of game. We're bringing Matt in and getting his voice heard a little bit more than in previous years.
Yeah, we always hear Matt's voice. You always know he's on the ice. But yeah, he's played a lot of mixed doubles with his sister Becca. In mixed doubles, you're basically involved in strategy on every single shot.
He played in 1 World Mixed Doubles Championship with Becca. And actually, John Schuster will be going to the upcoming World Mixed Doubles Championship. He's playing with Corey Christensen.
It'll be in Stavanger in Norway in a few weeks.
But more importantly, the seniors will be going on at the same time.
Yeah, all the people in Stavanger will be going to watch the old guys play.
Again, peeling the front. This a score end for China, or avoid the steal end, basically?
Yeah, probably avoid the steal end. You know, you've got that one around the corner there, so they're still thinking 2. Eight-foot's open, so for China, that's like a yawning chasm. They'll think we can duck 2 or 3 in there. Chris Pleiss, 85% for the tournament.
Line's good. Easy.
Relax if you can.
And Chris, you know, coming into a team that's just won an Olympic gold medal, you know, the other guys did it. You know, now you're on the team and you're part of a team and everybody wants to talk about your Olympic experience. And Chris, I think, is really appreciating the fact that, you know, he can contribute and help this team write a new chapter.
World Junior Champion. He played with John at the Olympic Winter Games in Vancouver in 2010. It was very trying Olympic Games for John. You know, no doubt admit that one. 84% Ba Duxin.
Tries to vaporize the rock.
Chris was the alternate that year, but actually came in and played some. John actually going to the bench for a few games in Vancouver.
Tournaments are funny things. They get their own dynamic and their own momentum, and they can go really, really well, or they can go really, really badly. And there's almost no science as to why.
The focus building up to it, every game that important, and any move micro-analyzed by everyone.
Yeah. The World Championship at an Olympic level, when literally everybody around the world is watching what you're doing.
Easy.
It's under a massive magnifying glass.
A little bit. Pretty good, easy. On its own. Attaboy. Shot, Chris.
Really nice guard placement by the Americans right from the get-go in this end. They're keeping really big distances between their 2 center guards. China trying to open them up and double them off, but there's such a gap between those guards, it's almost impossible.
At any point, do they just say, all right, let's go around?
I'm kind of surprised they're not doing that now, actually, Luke. Probably one more go at it. Having second thoughts now. Yeah, they're saying, yeah, that's really, really long. Even if we double clear, we're going to leave a guard up, so why don't we get one in there? This is more China-like in terms of their approach to getting multiple points on the board.
下楼 OK， 小一点，不行，小一点，保持力量，力量为主啊！6区，抓的位置 ，OK， 线路非常好，智力，8个开，力量，志宇，他可以，没事。好，6，好，2，线路非常好，志宇，再来，好，2，志宇，线路非常好，下线，好，2，线路非常好，下线，志宇
Ball right in their ear and behind.
好，再来一点，再来一点 ，Go Go Go！
When you got Ba Duxin throwing him, You don't mind having a shot at something like that. Doesn't completely bury, though. Probably a quarter at least available for the USA to make a throw at. These guys work hard.
Hydrate and get ready for another one.
Yeah. Recover, recover, recover. You get a look at it. Half buried.
Just hack.
Yep.
Hack weight, says Schuster.
Sure goes. Stay in the 8th, that's great.
Look in Russia and Sweden, and 4-0. Sweden controlling this game.
Yeah. Sweden has a stone frozen in the wing here, so another tough shot here for Sergei Glukov. Looks like he's just going to try to draw for a single.
Let's go. Go, Lance, go. Go, Lancer.
He doesn't look very happy about it. Sweepers are not laying a brush to it yet.
Chris, yep. Go. Hard, Chris, go. Good. Good.
Oscar Eriksson strolls up to the tee line to have a sweep, but I think it's going to stop in time. Yes, it does. Single point there for the Russians. They're on the board. Sweden leading that one 4-1.
Sweden not wanting to look past that game. I know they got one against Canada tonight.
Yeah.
Russia trying to keep things going. They're 2-5. Win out, have a good chance of getting in, but you got to win out to do that.
Schuster made that nice little hit and roll hack weight, so Solchang trying to roll it the other way behind some cover.
74% for Chinese skip. It's been the one constant in their lineup throughout the whole week.
Played it third last year when his brother Sol Hijia was the skip. Can they stick the roll?
Wow, look at that. Right to the button. Out the other side.
Over curled or over rolled a fraction. Great try though. You can hear, oh, we almost had it, guys.
I think it's a good chance any to steal right now. Just tapping in here.
Americans
I mean, you could
thinking steal more than force as we look in at Switzerland, Korea. 3 stones on the 4-foot.
Look like Switzerland lying one.
That's close, yeah. The Swiss are lying one, so Benoit Schwartz here with a cross-house hit and roll. He can't disturb his own stone, but a chance here maybe to get 2. Has to roll it into the 4-foot.
Now, here's another edge, Chris.
Go, spin. Go, 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 go. Yep. Whoa.
And there's the hit, there's the roll. Doesn't want to hit his own though.
I think they get away with it.
Don't know. 1 for sure. Looks like 2. Yeah, great shot by Benoit Schwartz. Switzerland up 5-1 in that game, and big game for the Swiss.
Swiss, another one of those one-loss teams.
Yeah. They were rolling along last night until they ran into one Nicholas Edin.
See the numbers for John Schuster on the championship, 85%. Decided to play and remove the stone.
Yeah, interesting call here. USA are thinking steal here. They're not really thinking force. They're trying to, well, just going to give themselves, they are setting for force now. Thought they were just going to try and tap that back, but they did decide just to remove it.
I think as we were doing that, they looked at the options and they decided hit and roll. We can get a force. The freeze is such a tough shot to move that one. Could give up 2, even 3.
Exactly. It wasn't a great opportunity to press really hard for a steal. China still has to make this, but has to hit and stick. Has to hang around the 8-foot circle just to restore the 3-point lead.
Quiet hit weight here for the Chinese skip. Zhao Jian.
Clean. Whoa, easy. Clean.
When you're a sweeper, you love hearing the line caller say clean.
Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Hit and stick. Gets a little roll to the button for good measure.
Just because.
And China will get 1 important score. They now extend their lead back to 3. We're through 4 ends. China leads 4-1.
Just win the rest of these ends 1 by 1. Get a deuce here.
Get a deuce, get a miss, get a 3.
Yep.
上一个擦大了，这不是就看猛了，要是再放一点就 OK。我感觉这个出手还行啊。 不，这个一开始挺靠，但不是就在前视线。在前视线的时候，就突然间因为一放，它一下就下了一点，但那也到 K 点了，正常。
OK。
飞不对，飞不对。
这就可以稍微。
4-1 as we begin end number 5, Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship 2019. Luke Kohler here with Hans Frauenlaub. Good end by the U.S. to get the force. They just never really got themselves to a chance to go for the steal.
Yep, China just keeps scoring, which is important for them. They got the handy lead, not a decisive one, but keep the scoreboard ticking along, take another end off the boards.
U.S. will have to try and get these corner guards in position. How they go about it, set up, use the 5 rock free guard zone rule. We've seen plenty of threes or more.
Keep it running.
Yeah, with the 5 rock free guard zone, you feel like you've always got a chance to score 2, a very good chance to score 2 when you've got last rock. So that changes your approach a little bit to how you play when you're trailing in a game. You see it particularly as we get to the back end of the game around the 7th, 8th, 9th end. Teams making choices about whether they want to hang on to last rock, because when you got last rock now with a 5 rock free guard zone, you're always thinking 3 is a possibility. Get a chance to set up 2 guards, get a half miss, and then all of a sudden you're in business.
Clean. Yep.
China's just piling them into the rings. That's a good tactic when you're saying to yourself, well, if they get 2, it's not awful, but you throw center guards and you're bringing 3 into the equation. If you throw them into the rings, you're saying, oh, well, increasing the chance my opponent's going to get 2, but I'm okay with that.
A little more line.
Line's good.
It's more line.
It's good, though. So close.
You have to finish.
You know that at some point the Americans are going to have to deal with it.
So you got to finish.
Yep. Hard.
Not yet.
Hard. You really got to dig, Matt. Come on, let's go. Hard. Good. That away. That away, line.
Important come around by the lead. Put the corner, make the come around.
Yep. 5 rock free guard zone. Well, it's always been important for the lead stones to be set well, but especially now in the 5 rock free guard zone era. Enjoying our week here in Lethbridge. Spring is arriving. Southern Alberta, nice part of the country.
So this morning I saw the Lethbridge Curling Club, a new facility on the west side of town.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Part of a big multiplex with hockey rinks, new pool and gym going in. Really part of the growth of the game.
Yeah.
Probably run.
No,
really
you
nice
can do
facility.
it go like this, but
Can we pop it on the nose?
or this.
China line 3.
Might give him that double.
If we hit it on the nose with like back 8,
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's pretty thin. I mean, I would want to do it maybe with board and try to get it back here. I like that, actually.
Okay.
I think board.
Okay.
Right in the nose.
So now the Americans are dealing with the Chinese stones. Schuster saying board weight. Matt Hamilton wanted to play a little bit softer, but Schuster saying, I want to get this stone that we're about to hit into the back ring.
Lead. Just board. Lead. Yep. Hard. Just board. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Weight's good. Whoa. Whoa.
They do push the red stone, but it was more like hack weight, so he leaves the Chinese stones all sitting in the ring still. Chance for China now to play either a thin double or run the corner guard. Either is a good option.
Peel the corner, bring everything into the rings.
Yeah, you get rid of the corner guard and you pretty much take 3 out of the equation. Make the double takeout, then you're higher risk, but maybe keeping the steal alive. Sensible play, 3 up. Pretty quiet. Just takes
look
it.
at
Oh man!
When things are going,
when it's your day. Well, let's watch John Schuster's expression.
Just it's one of those.
Oh dear. It was not intentional. Just wanted to clear the corner guard, but guard or double takeout, I'll do both.
I'll get all 3.
Incredible. You could throw that rock 100 times with that outcome in mind and not make it.
Yep, that's a shot.
Well, U.S. have to make a couple shots now. They still have a way.
Chinese guys having laughs.
Smiles all around.
A little embarrassed expression on Wang's face. He said I threw it pretty bad and I got lucky.
But they played a lot of good shots throughout the game, and sometimes when things are going well,
yeah,
the one you don't throw perfectly, you get a good result out of it.
Yeah.
And a bonus.
Sometimes it's just your day. Lots of stones to come in this game, though. The Americans are still very much in it. After a while, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. Is that the right expression to use in Western Canada? Snake bit?
Lots of snake crossings here. Some some rattlesnakes around in the area.
Okay.
In the coulee.
We'll go with that.
It's not like they called that.
You didn't see him call the triple?
Matt Hamilton still talking about that triple takeout. Dicey shot here for Bandajin. Has to hit about a quarter just to punch it through the hole and not disturb his own stones. Big weight.
Get through the hole.
Oh.
But there goes back the other way.
Yeah. Curling karma catches up with the Chinese.
Same top breeze.
Well, how high are they?
Same thing?
Or does that
Oh, we
give him
can't
a...
be here because then it's a crotch. We can get to this side maybe.
Could
Look
you
at all
ever
the
kind of
scores.
tap and roll
Germany
under
up
the
1-0
yellow line?
over Norway today in the
honestly,
5th
is
end.
to go like
Or 4-1.
This Chris is first, right?
5-1
Yeah.
as well.
Is to go
Switzerland
here
over Korea
and
in the
try to just
5th.
tap
And
this
4-1
to where
Sweden
this
leading
catches
Russia
because it doesn't
in the
catch it
5th
right
end.
now. It catches it to leave, but it doesn't catch it to jam.
I like that. Do you ever like...
And then it gives us, Matt, and then it gives us a pocket with the next one too. They have to address
you ever like
route.
this?
No, I don't. Because you hit it just wrong here and they go, pew.
I know, but we're
I
playing.
think, Matt,
That's
I
the
think this is
technical
the
term.
play right now, and let's get this thing to a little pocket.
Okay.
As long as you get on this side, Chris, with like back line, we gotta be this side because you can't beak it.
Okay.
So
Need
maybe
more
just
edge of
like
4.
here, honestly.
He had, I was just inside edge of 4, so you need, I think, a touch more than that.
What kind of weight am I throwing?
Back 4?
Back 4, back 8, yeah.
Back 8.
Just a heavy draw. Want to push the shot stone back a little bit.
Back line!
Whoa.
Pleiss
weight.
was light with the draw earlier in the game, and has he
Stay
overcompensated?
close, Matt. Lance, stay close.
getting better.
Just trying to set up that pocket. Didn't really get to the nose where they wanted.
Doesn't help much. Did push the Chinese stone into fourth shot position, that's right.
Look in Russia and Sweden.
Okay, well, not much going on here. It's a bit of a desert in the rings compared to our game. We have one Swedish stone back 8 foot, so Nicholas Edin just needs to draw full 12 foot to score 2.
He's a plus 34 points for and against this week. He's only given up 3 deuces.
That's pretty good goaltending.
Learned that from Henrik Lundqvist.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Sundgren backs off. He's pretty happy with it. And that's why. Right to the pin on the Pioneer logo. So that's a pair for Sweden. That puts them in control. They're up 6-1 in that one. I'd love to get off the ice early this afternoon and rest up for their big game against the Canadians tonight.
They're going to get an angry Canadian team after a loss this morning. Not just, it was a lopsided loss to Japan.
Yeah, yeah, almost in the embarrassing category.
It's hard to get it deep enough. If it goes just too far, it just end up dead. Like,
you know, actually, not really. You go to here, you end up rolling it to
yeah,
here.
all the way there, it's great.
And even here, you only lose
just
one.
to get it deep enough, like if we only get to here, I think he just goes backside and he goes.
On
like
the right,
I think we
he
have
crotches
to.
it. Yeah, I think we go to there. Like a pocket.
Straight back.
You can do it with hack.
I mean, we could also just play this right now because right now this is 3 mat. We could probably just play this.
Could you ever just do this?
Chris Pleiss finally joining the discussion.
I mean, freeze or tap that a little bit. If you actually tap that just a shade on the
time clock in the background. There's a look at the angles here from another perspective.
Yeah, I'm down.
Then that one's locked.
Like I said, even this is actually.
The U.S. is not in time trouble, but they are using time.
That's high end.
So just a little tap. You see John's mind going.
Yeah. Where do I want to leave it?
Yeah, 1 foot tap on the nose would be pretty legit.
It's like 2 feet lost.
Pretty legit. Too legit to quit, Team USA. Chris Pleiss trying to get something going for his team.
Yeah, trying to use that hammer.
Playing in the 5th end, coming up to the midpoint of the game. This is an important end for the USA. Scrapping their way back into it.
Want the nose. Just a hair of a tap.
Yeah, fraction heavy, and the angle just a fraction wide.
Yeah.
Throw it hard, and can you clip the yellow?
I'm wondering if you can get a little bit of action on the yellow one going by. I don't know if you do. Can remove it, no problem there. And they're saying, yeah, the Chinese guys think they can. Hit that yellow one hard, just on the outside, just off nose. Spring a bit to the left of our picture, and only going to nudge that yellow stone about half a rock width for it to be really good for China.
Okay.
Don't have to take it out completely, just need to move it a bit. Not an easy shot, though. China with a little bit more time.
Hard.
On it immediately. Want to keep it on the high side. It's not far away. Ooh, a little nudge, but not quite enough.
How far did they move? Did they bring those back ones in to count it? That's the question.
Shakes his head. Tried, guys.
Back line.
Try to get it over the top and just roll behind it. Yeah. It has to get over I don't think it's ever getting over the top, unfortunately. That's the only problem with it.
Gotta make that double.
USA still in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, but I suppose. Probably.
I don't know what else
Third
really
shot,
have.
that USA stone. So that's actually big that it's still
They're
there.
getting the back side of it. Corner freezes right here.
Right. Right, and he can't guard everything.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing.
What if he guards that? Then we're what?
Guards
do you
what?
got? If we quarter freeze here and he guards our yellow, what do we have?
Yeah, the double off this one, dude. But he can guard them both, though, probably. Actually, he can't guard them both. If I get right to here, he can't guard them both.
Yeah.
Maybe. He might be able to.
I don't
But
know,
does the question if it goes high enough to go under this either? Like, I'm not sure. I'm okay with
I
this,
like our
Chris.
chances of this probably better than.
Yeah.
Well,
trying
you
to
know what
stick
though?
with-
Look, even if we go like this here, and if we can even just get it to sit here, and this sits there, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think I can do that. With it's not this, and actually, well, it's never getting to a spot where we
Bartlett
can't.
and Dropnik looking at the angles.
That's really thin.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
No, we're talking to roll though.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure that you're totally missing this.
Well, with back
Yeah,
line,
pick
I
one,
might
guys.
just scrape the back. But even if it just stays next to it, like at least potentially double territory.
No, that's why I'm saying I think you could throw it normal.
I don't think we can stay with
time
normal. Get
ticking
over
in
the
the
top.
background.
You can play with like firm. Make this go away and roll to here.
Yeah, we could do that too.
That's probably the easiest way to
That's
get there.
probably the easiest way to get to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Firm it, as long as I almost, I don't know, because I'm going to sit dead side by side, and that's pretty short.
It's gonna be a fast second
Pretty short. I
half.
think we got to play back line and try
I
to
don't
get behind
hate
it.
Yep,
You-
John
you like this one?
Landsteiner
I like
keeping
this
an eye on the
better
clock,
than
saying
the
it's going to be a
back line
fast
shot.
second half.
I think it's easier.
I think it's easier
fine.
too.
All right. Just inch out, 2 inches outside edge. Yep.
First place.
Just taking
now
a look.
taking a look at the clock, going, uh-oh.
Well, they know they need a deuce here to keep a chance, take the time.
Well, they do. I mean, they're going to need to score here. I mean, the end is not setting up great for a deuce for them, and sometimes you can press a little bit too hard trying to make it happen.
405 here?
405.
The very few words of John Landsteiner.
Yeah.
Confirming weight for John Schuster on his first.
Wait's there right now.
Okay. Lock it on. Line's nice.
Got some curling to do.
Line's nice. No bounce.
Little
Can't
curling
bounce.
to do still.
Lancers rock.
Good looking weight, but is it going to curl enough to get that angle freeze? It's not far away.
good. Really
Wow.
nice.
That's a great shot. Very nice.
As good as you can do, John.
Exactly right, Chris.
Couldn't have went down and placed it any better.
头滑进来，然后把这个送一点，或者你要掉线了，即使通完投在这儿，这个球送到这儿也 OK。
So now this
你俩感觉呢？
扎一个呢？
puts the thinking cap on Team China.
他这球打
Great shot by
他这球
Schuster.
打完 double，有这个相关。
但是我觉得呢就没有
That
必要，
sets up
因为
the
打到
deuce.
1/3的理论上他还是有大分的话，如果咱要是
Maybe more.
如果这比如说站这儿的话，他打。
他有可能就这么打你。
那要不站呢，咱直接再投一个呢。
他这个有，他打反旋闪直接就2分了。
这儿呢？
对他这个直接
往那儿
就够。
投没一下用，志云，投到那儿他就一个大力一冲，他想把这个带走。
的的确确是这样。
别着急，等会儿再演。闪停。
Feather red line 3.
打分
Tough shot.
It's a question, what if you guarded it?
这个是
As they call a timeout.
我当然我还有另外一个就是直接往这儿冲。
也哎，
Here's Badajan. Throw right there.
还有一个方法就是你给他磕开它。
Again, great if you make it.
对，我刚才有第一想法，我是
你磕定它，它比那个近就行。
There's Americans in the background
我觉得你
already
有，
talking
因为你
about
这球
their
只要一
time
磕定，
management.
这个就往这儿走，或者你要能往这儿甩一点
那他一打。不2分了吗？
啊，对，那是这样的，他就是2分。但是不是？但是最好就是比如
头肯定得在这块儿。
这样磕到他这儿，然后这球送到这儿，他基本上就看不见这个了。你看，如果这样的角度看不见这个，后面只露一点，他可能，但是他还是有这个选择打这个 double，他有2分。然后，但是我觉得更好，不行就往这
当然是
儿投一个。
这会儿这
Dan Raphael makes his way
这个不知道这么打也没
onto
有。
你
the
要是先
field
往
of
后
play.
旋，他能咋的？
就是
或者是这样，或者是这样，因为他现在的唯一能利用这个球得咱第2
Either
分
one.
对
Change
咱
the
直接拿
angles
逆
or
时
line
蹭一点，
3
直接滑到这儿来。
我感觉把这个球给
对吧
他破坏了。
因为这个球他是利用这个球打反旋闪，他才有2分。就像你说你担心，就是担心他，我也觉得这个。
也 OK。
I like that, but how much
Camera?
space in between? Here.
Here? Almost
No,
right.
between these two.
Two?
Yeah. Because if you hit that one first, can you push this
Oh,
one
we don't
across?
hey,
Huh?
we don't come wrong. Maybe come wrong all half here.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like just with back 4?
Yeah,
Yep.
back four.
Yeah. And just move that over?
Yeah. Because
And then-
they can use the red
Yeah.
stone try to.
Sure.
他说
OK
他说第一场。
他说一开始是打的，但是我不太，不是，他
And it-
说问他有多少分
How's the way to miss? How will we miss? Light? Heavy?
I like heavy.
Heavy?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as he knows.
对，他说这手下其实可以大点，你大点磕，就像你说底线划这儿了，
这球就是掉线了，你磕过来，他都没事儿。
你这球磕完粘到这儿，他也没有。
对，他也没有颠。
你把这个球稍微磕到这里，头只要进来一点。
You'll just tap it over anyway, and then you'll roll across. So make sure you have more weight than less.
他说这个球一定要确定你力量是第一点，第一让你磕完头甩过来，或者把这个传到这儿都 OK。
我们8区头，
我感觉你就是
Just don't push
刚
this
投到
one
这儿
too
的劲儿差
far.
不多。
得90。
刚才就是我怕碰不着。
别太大，别太大。因为你要
Important
8
if
区
they
劲儿的
make
话，
this
就
play
得
late
贴
that they
轧
lie
贴
through.
轧棍也可以。
但是你得磕的挺薄啊，你得把它稍微给
这个球不用担心，主要是头只要划过来就 OK。
主要关心头就行，
Just the
因为这已
overdraw.
经没这个劲了。
Just the overdraw.
其实就是一个就是打就头球大一点的力量，欺杀。
Ton of weight.
咱现在如果要是奔
Just need to be back 4 foot.
我就直接这个力量。
Heavy draw.
我怕直接过来，你知道吗？过来
Lance going by. Redirected into the button area. Push the red angle a little bit. Make the Americans look.
对啊，
你觉得还是14秒
Tough to lie 3 right now because they're
Tough
facing
luck,
1 right now.
Yeah, you won't be able to lie 3, but you can lie first and second, and you can outcount that yellow stone in the back of our picture, which is the important thing as far as not dropping at 2 goes.
再放一点也行吧，因为我觉得其实你
So
蹭到
the
这儿
last
也
stone up coming for
你选这
China,
个
leading 4-1.
这球就要确定他的力量 ，OK， 一定要是
But you see the
8-9，因为这
dynamic
块不够
at
过，
that
即使
point
掉
with
了蹭一脚他还能过来。
Raphael going to Ba Duxin. Similar to what Bob Ursel does with Shenya Abe.
Yeah.
Just the one that can translate the English.
That's right.
14秒1，
That's exactly
14
right.
秒吧，不能14秒1了，14秒可以。点差不多，我觉得。点感觉是吧？可以，一半半。差不多。
So an intriguing 5th end. Both teams using a lot of time.
And China using their timeout.
Yeah, which is where he might be going right now. Yeah. But man, I thought they talked about chicken.
Schuster in place speculating what might happen.
John made his freeze in a great spot.
He did.
Forcing the discussion now. It's the execution after the timeout. Zhao Jian. His final shot here in the 5th end.
Tough shot, but I like the call. They've got a couple of options here.
9、9区，志林还行，正常，8区，小2，2 ，go hard。
Have they underswept it?
When they'll touch the top one, unlock it.
Well, makes it a tough 2 for the Americans.
Can they crotch those and have?
I'm not
3
sure if
reds
they're
go?
gonna. I'm not sure if they're gonna get action on the stone on the button.
Unless we were convinced, but
I don't think so.
relatively certain that's just going to stick there.
I
and
think
this
that
is
just
never
nuts
gonna
there.
count, so.
Maybe just do this like back line.
Yeah.
Have to take a look, but now they'll make sure they go a little quicker. Of course, teams give them 38 minutes to start the game.
Almost knows to get 2, huh?
U.S. well past that halfway point of their time.
Back line. Yeah. Just have to have more than. You have 2 inches of forefoot. You're good. Yeah.
So there's a shot for 2 here for the USA.
Like an 85 on.
Should be good.
You like
That's
that
the time difference,
Dean
almost
10.
3 minutes.
Center.
The U.S. still has their timeout.
So the play for the Americans goes straight to the red stone. Have to hit all you can see and stick around in the 4-foot to count 2.
Last stone, 5th end.
Almost hack. Where? Almost hack. Back line. Get. Hard. You gotta keep it up the center. All the way. Come on. Whoa.
Close. Close. Matt, go.
Oh, went hard.
Now they're sweeping for curl. Is it going to hang around in the 4-foot or not? Oh, they got the spin back. They got the spin back. I think it's a pair.
It listened to John Schuster at the end.
A little boosty spin.
No, they needed a break. They got a break go against them earlier in the end.
Yes, they did.
They'll spin it in to get 2. Or watch this at the end. Watch the little spin of the Yellowstone.
Listen for the call for the spin. Spin! And it's fun.
So it'll make it a 1-point game heading to the 5th end break. 4-3, China leading the USA.
All right, 3-minute end.
Back in business. Hey, Maddie. Did you guys think that one was super? Was a lot more than backline?
Yeah, it's soft hack, space.
Nice finish, big guy. You can finish that bad boy good.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
where if you're Russian, there's a little bit more adrenaline, right? So you might throw it a little harder. Just be aware of that.
Let's take an extra beat.
Yep.
We'll look in Switzerland and Korea. Look at those red Swiss stones in there. Pressure on. There's two on the wide side. Change the lineup for Korea. Lee Jong-jae. The last stone.
Yep. Whoa.
Now in as the skip here in this game, changing the lineup, trying to spin them both over, but they'll spin it over and too far. And look at all the reds. Count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Stolen by Switzerland.
Yow.
Switzerland looks strong to get win number 7 now. As we look at all the scores, Germany, Norway 1-1 in the 6th. Our game 4-3 heading to the second half right away. Swiss leading Korea 11-1, and Sweden controlling against Russia up 6-1 in that game over on sheet D. First end, our feature game, and after a great crosshouse hit, Zhao Jian sets up, hit and stick to score an early deuce in this game and capitalize on last stone advantage. No problem for China. They get their early 2. Third end, and China controlling the end, really putting the pressure on John Schuster and Team USA. He's got to play the in off the side stone, facing 3. Already down by 3 at this point. Got to make this one off the side, push it back, and stick in time to get 1. A big one for Team USA. A lot of discussion, a lot of angles, and how do we go about it to get our 2? John Schuster eating up a lot of time on their clock, but this needs a deuce. And they'll make contact. Will it sit in the forefoot?
Get in there.
And it listened to John. It spun as he asked for it. Spins in to get the 2 and get within 1.
Yeah, baby.
Look at all the numbers through 5 ends. 4-3 advantage for China, but advantage China across the board. 92 to 86%. Draw percentage, 92 to 88. The hit percentage, a big discrepancy, 92 to 78. That 1 stolen point in the second end, and a 4-3 lead. U.S. not out of this. Second half yet to come. Well, the Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship 2019. We're underway, 6th end. The U.S. will go hard. So centerline guard. See what Japan goes about now.
Team China, yes, exactly.
It was Japan that got the big win against Canada early this morning.
Japan's on our minds here at the
just looking on where they sit atop the standings.
Exactly. Sitting #1 position.
Japan that was beat China to win the Pacific Asia Championship.
Yeah. Beat them here in the round robin as well in a very close game.
USA still has Japan left.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they'll play them. US can't look past this one. They need to try and come back and win this game.
Sean Landsteiner having a fine game. And heard U.S. coach Don Bartlett talking to the guys during the mid-game break, and giving them some wise advice. He said, you guys are going to be tight on time clock. You're probably going to be jumping in the hack to throw your shots. Means your adrenaline's going to be a little bit higher, and just sort of take that extra second just to calm yourself before you throw it. Just because you're a bit tight on time, you get anxious, you tend to throw it a little bit harder. So good advice.
Anything they can do to pick it up?
We'll decide what shot they're going to play faster. That's probably the easiest thing to do.
Front end, try and be ready to go as quick as possible.
Yeah, the front end guys always wear the brunt of time challenge. They're expected to be in the hack ready to throw all the time, as Xiaoxilin matching Landsteiner shot for shot in this game. 98%, really good play. It's usually the job of one person in the team to kind of keep an eye on the time clock. And if you think about your 38 minutes of thinking time like a household budget, you've got 38 minutes to play with. You've got 10 ends in the game. That means you got about 3.5 minutes or so to play each end. And when you get to the halfway point, you look at your budget and go, well, we should have about 18, 19 minutes on the clock. You look around, you got 15. They're going, oh, money's a little tight. Time's a little tight. Matt Hamilton,
88%. But a big shot now. They have the two guards.
I know. Close. Yeah. Whoa.
8.
I know.
Just letting you know.
It's a big end. China with last rock here. They've got the even ends. They're one up. So even though the U.S. got that really nice deuce, China would be looking to keep things pretty open here. Now they're going to be clearing front stones. China will be thinking, we score 2 here, we're right back in the driver's seat. Wang Xiu.
88.
Yep, good game. Chinese guys are playing well.
And, almost makes the double peel.
Yeah, that was close, not quite. Good chance now for the Americans to stack them.
That's how important that shot by Matt Hamilton. If it was a little bit higher, it'd be a little better scenario.
Yeah, now you can see how quickly the Americans are playing.
Okay.
Matt was almost sliding out of the hack before John put the brush down.
We're one.
He knew what the shot was going to be.
Just me, if anything, I think.
Chris. Clean, just clean.
China, not that much more time, a few minutes more, but they've also used their timeout, so they'll have to be quick as well.
Yeah, they can't muck around too much, you're right. Much better guard configuration. They're lined up, so way harder for the Chinese to double them off.
Might see less conversation with Matt Hamilton coming down here in the second half of this game.
Yeah, he might reflect at the halftime and say, well, I better just let the guys make the call or just play. You don't want to shut yourself down too much, though. It's what's made your team successful in the first place.
Get both of them.
There's the double clear. Great shot. They do leave the long guard just off center line, but very nice double clear by Team China. Another look. There goes one. There goes two.
There's no real way to get rid of that shooter if you're making that one.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Little lad. 2. Broom down, Matt. Keep your broom down, Matt.
2.5.
Fine.
2.
Easy now, easy. Easy, whoa.
2.5.
Close, Lance. No. Just let her die. Good. That away, Chris. Good boy.
So the USA doing well this end, stacking them up on the center. Good guard placement for the Americans. Now China, are they going to call the Americans bluff? Looks like they are. Okay, guys, you keep throwing center guards. Eventually, we're just going to go around it ourselves. The American stones in the back of the forefoot. Looks pretty inviting. We'll have a go. China will always back themselves throwing a draw, especially with this man throwing it. Represented China at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. 85% for the day today for Ba Dexin in their mixed doubles team. So he is very accustomed to throwing draws around center guards. This, however, looks heavy.
It goes around, so U.S. still lying one, and they have the guards. And we have our first final after that steal of 6. Switzerland brings in their alternate. Claudio Petz gets an end in, and it's a final. I believe Korea getting one in that sixth end.
But regardless, the Koreans have called it a day, and that's a big win for the Swiss.
5, 6.
I'll confirm that final score for you after they hang it up.
7. 5.
Switzerland rolls on.
Yeah, they were looking strong, and then you added 6 more to it.
Yeah.
It's the highest score of an end we've seen this week, and we've seen 5 5s.
A good-looking stone here for the Americans. Chris Pleiss, great line, great-looking weight. This could really put the heat on the Chinese. Terrific shot.
No, it's perfect, dude. It's perfect. Great.
Perfect indeed.
No, I know.
It frustrated me.
Just fine, man.
It's like better than top button.
Yeah. There's a nice look at
We
Chris
go deeper,
Pleiss.
we set up a double. There's no double on it. The run.
可以，对吧？你如果球中间往下掉一点，
Just doesn't seem all that pleased with it. Or at least Landsteiner.
正常电应该差不多。
OK，可以掉挺多。
OK。
Sets himself high standards, John, in terms of where he puts the stones, in terms of his weight judgment. Takes a lot of pride, justifiably so.
It was a single, so 11-2 the final. Switzerland defeats the Koreans, so Korea still looking for win number 1. They are 0-8. The Swiss bounce back after their first loss, 7-1.
You never love to be running back your opponent's stone, but Chinese with no other option, really.
下线，下线，顶线不行，没有。2，顶线打，直接找到黄的。
Curl up. Will end up picking their own out, leaving the guard. So USA's sitting pretty now.
That's why you don't like running back your opponent's stone. You can do some damage to yourself.
Did it surprise you how early China went in?
Not really. They've got real confidence in that, but that was just execution.
You're right, Matt. Even here is fine. Anywhere.
That's the one opportunity to really get the deuce.
It's right behind it. Yep, we only inch out 2 inches outside the edge here.
Just like a half rock.
U.S. feeling frisky, but let's look in at Russia and Sweden. We've got 2 red stones in the rings belonging to the Russians. So this is a draw for 3 by the looks of it for Sergei Glukov. That can get him right back in the game.
Have to take advantage of these for Russia to cut into that lead. Haven't got much going.
Yes.
Можно ждать. Целиком белый, не больше. Вес на вас. Линия норма. Во, можно легче.
Still looking good for Glukov. Yep, and that's a 3 on the board by the looks of it. Yes, indeed, that's going to stop up. That's a 3 for the Russians and cut down the lead. It's now 6-4. John Schuster trying to turn the screws on Team China here. The Americans have got this set up brilliantly.
It's heavy. Oh, boys.
Well, just the weight wasn't obviously relayed because comes down. Back of the forefoot lies 3.
That's the escape.
It's never tight.
Lifeboat for Team China.
Never tight.
Thought a little bit for weight too. That was my bad.
Schuster disappointed, 73%.
What?
You said it was light.
No, I know, but we were never needed it for line.
Well, then say something. Sorry.
What? No, I was saying low for line has got a curl. Like, line's fine. They said there had something.
All the discussion there is about the oversweep. That stone sits up 6 inches higher. China's really got nothing. As it is, this is still really tough, but Zhou Xiang, if he can get one into there, sit in front of that stone that Schuster just threw, China gets out of jail. If he doesn't make this one, China could drop 2 or 3, even though they've got the hammer.
But look at that. Zhao Jian, 98% on the game.
Yeah, that's really strong. But huge shot here.
Looks like a little more weight than they want.
Not letting the sweepers in the shot at all. Pleiss already coming out to sweep it. This is big trouble for China.
Oh, this could turn real ugly for China.
Yeah. Now it's absolutely inviting for John Schuster to say, just throw it down on top of that one again. You're already lying 2.
Unless we want to do this, right? Like, unless I want to play this, just go straight here and steal 2.
I mean, geez,
we're stealing 2
if we do this.
Yep.
I mean,
Absolutely.
if I don't get it there, though, he can score. If I go here, we're stealing 2.
And if the line's good, we'll just take it.
Yep. I mean, you can play off of his. I can throw the same. We can play off his if you want.
Okay. I just like the cold draw.
Draw's good.
You like
Feel the demeanor changing instantly in this end for the Americans.
Frustration just before the shot was missed by
It's
China.
all disappeared now.
Let's just go make this one because
We're going to steal 2.
Yeah, I just play the straight draw, Chris. Give me 2 more inches still. Still
Get
more.
to the inside. It's the second shot in a row, the same shot for John Schuster.
If we get to the nose of his, he can't get in there either. So.
Yeah, it's all about the line. Do the split time on it between the hog lines for you. It's been running about 14-3, 14-4, tee to tee, or hog to hog rather, to get to the tee.
Close, so.
Yep. 6.
Whoa. Whoa.
7. Yep.
Oh, Lance, get ready.
Line only. Hammy.
Schuster likes the line.
Line only. Hammy. Hard, Hamilton. 7, 8.
Get to the inside.
Great shot.
Good shot.
Right to the face and lie. 1, 2, possibly 3, but the 2 that are important.
Good shot.
Yeah.
I'm hearing Steiner. I'm sorry.
2 for sure.
Okay. Sorry.
Got 2 last end and really trying to put
Good
the
call,
screws
Chris.
to it.
Great call.
Yeah, it was a great call. Good line read by Chris Pleiss.
That a boy.
Some encouragement from the skipper.
Completely different throw. That was a great way to see the weight on that too, guys.
Well, you said the demeanor change.
Yeah.
Okay.
It went from frustration to elation in about 35 seconds.
Does this draw down to it to concede 1, basically?
Yeah, you're not scoring here. You're going to try and follow that stone that Schuster just threw. Sit on top of it and hope you're only giving up 1. That quarter of the 4-foot, red 4-foot area, that's his target area. Pretty small.
Well, China decided to go in with first to third stones, didn't get the execution. And they didn't make anything after.
Yep.
That's why faced with this difficult shot, just to give up a steal of 1.
6、7 OK， 5、6行，5、6， 6局了，5、6。
No way for China to score here, so the scores are going to be at least tied. But can they reduce the damage?
Heavy on his first, now they go on his second.
Go, go, go! Hard!
Looks light.
He's not even going to get past that front guard.
Wow.
Is it 2 or 3 now? It's 2 for sure.
2 for sure. Will they measure for the third, or will they just concede the deuce?
It's close. I would throw a stick on it.
I don't know. You measure? Okay.
No, they're going to measure it.
I'll let you pick first. Who do you got?
I want one more look on the overhead before I get have to answer that question. Matt Hamilton's going to have a look. Hammy thinks it's 3.
I kind of thought he might say that.
Yeah. Be an upset if he didn't.
There you go.
Yeah, that is close. It does look like yellow to me, too. Might be a steal of 3.
Okay, well then, just to be different, I'll go red.
Okay.
But I did think it was 3 yellow initially, but
it's close. Certainly worth measuring. Okay, play along at the home game. Needle goes to...
So that is
just
the red
to the 2. That's the
shiny
red one.
stone.
Yep.
This is for the 3rd stolen point if it goes past it.
Nope. It's red. It's
So
a 2.
It is a steal of 2, but it's still a U.S. lead. Their first of the game comes. Deuce in 5, a steal of 2 in 6. All of a sudden, 5-4, USA leads China.
Yellow point. 2 yellow. So, hey, we're going 3-6.
Okay.
And again, we make sure we're decisive here early.
John Schuster a happier man now. He knows he still has his work cut out for him with a 1-point lead as we play end number 7. John Landsteiner gets the go-ahead. Let's get started here in end number 7.
Things are heating up here in the afternoon at the Pioneer Hybrid World Men's Curling Championship. Luke.
It's fine. I'm just saying the line's tighter than usual, so just let her die then.
China were cruising, but a terrific 6th end by the Americans and a big steal of 2. Turns this game around.
Stopped?
The smile that did stop. But good to see smiles on both sides, despite the steal of 2 last end.
Exactly.
So we saw Zhao Jian. First one was a bit heavy. The second one tried to compensate and went too far the other way. And want to try and just draw into the rings, keep this one open. Probably don't mind if they could get a blank out of it.
Yep. Tactically, strategically for Team China, you're absolutely playing to blank this end if you can. Keep the hammer for the 8th end. You get 2 hammers for 1 on the run home. And you're feeling okay, but if you score a single point here, you give control of the game to the Americans.
USA goes the hit back. Now they don't have to, not quite as hard out, and they probably don't mind a hit end to save a little bit of time.
Totally, I was just going to say exactly that. The Americans are saying no problem at all. We need to bank some clock. We will just throw easy shots. Take some of the heat off the time clock.
So we'll see throughout the difference in the speed. US will be ready to go. As soon as this one goes, they'll be in the hack ready to clean it and get ready for their next one.
That's right.
And every second will matter late. Thinking a game where they have a bit more time, maybe the strategy would be a bit different for the Americans?
I don't think so. I mean, they got into their time trouble when they were really kind of head down there in the 5th end. But it's paid off for them. I mean, look at the scoreboard. They got a deuce in the 5th, and they stole a pair in the 6th. So sometimes it's worth spending that little bit extra time just to get the right shot decided. You can get over anxious as long as you manage your time well.
I wasn't trying that. No.
You can comfortably play an end in 2 minutes thinking time.
Yeah, if you go quick and are ready to go.
Yeah. Time clock only runs when you're not playing a shot.
Trading shots back and forth. US sitting at 5-2 coming in. They've already seen the team ahead of them. Switzerland winning today. Matt quickly ready to come out of the hack.
Characteristic green toque tucked into his back pocket. Not quite the Linus security blanket, but stays with Matt wherever he goes.
The rally towel.
Yep.
All right, that's fine. It's fine, Matt.
Little roll in, back and forth. Looking at Switzerland, or Sweden, pardon me. Another team tied with Switzerland is Sweden. 6-4, they lead Russia.
See the Russian stone there to the right of the picture in the back 8 foot. Nearly fully buried, but Nicholas Edin looks to me like he wants to play about backline weight at it. Only has to push it about 3 rock widths, and Sweden could score 3 and maybe wrap this one up. He'll take his time. This is a big shot for Nick.
Well, they gave up 3. That was the first 3 they've given up this week. They hadn't given up more than 2. They've only given up 3 twos all week so far.
So they put the 2nd string goalie in.
They just relax a little bit for the 6-1 lead.
That's pretty good. Just enough contact. Well, did he?
And they get
That's
2
a pair.
of it.
That's a pair for Sweden, so that's 8-4. Not the 3 they were looking for, but back in control. 2 yellow it is.
So 4-point lead for Sweden. And that one trying to keep pace with the leaders. Japan is the leader right now. 7-1. tied with Switzerland.
Who would have predicted that coming into the week? And we'd be 2/3 of the way through the round robin. You look at the standings, who's in the first place, all by themselves? Japan. You got Olympic champions here, you got multiple world champions here. Team leading the pack. Team from Hokkaido.
Okay.
China trying to keep the stone away from that guard, keep their blank as simple as they can. U.S. trying to duck behind it, get their force.
Well, it's when do you make that effort to try for the roll, go real aggressive. You just don't want to roll out.
Stay close, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. Really close. Stay close. Go ahead, Lance. Go ahead, Lance. That's good.
Just a nose.
Okay, Chris. Shoot. It's probably close to a 9.
Show would like this one to just wiggle a little bit more out toward the wing if they can. Want to keep it in the rings, of course. By the shin.
Yeah. Whoa. Easy. Hard. Whoa. Hard. 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 Whoa. Hard. Hard.
Hard whoa, hard whoa. That's tough on a sweeper.
Okay.
China really only does have 2 gears in sweeping. All out or not.
Go and stop.
Yeah.
Well, quickly into skip stones.
Okay. Control, actually. Okay.
Go after this roll. Heard it. Go after the roll right now.
Yeah, this is probably the time to do it.
Try and give the sweepers a chance to try and make this roll.
Solid.
That's all. Stay close. Lance, get ready.
Close, Lance. Try. Give her a go.
No, it's on the nose. It's fine. Just keep it on the nose, Chris.
No roll.
That's good. That's good.
I wonder part of that is, you know what, let's just save Lance Steiner a little bit. Let's not push it to try not thinking you're going to get to the inside and make that roll.
I think John will always sweep a rock if there's a good outcome in it for it. And pretty low scoring game here between Norway and Germany, but there's a pile of rocks here. Somebody's going to get something.
Die Länge wie eben war ja nicht schlecht.
Mark Muskatuitz of Germany in the hack.
He's got to find his way to the forefoot.
Yeah, he might need a helicopter.
Whoa.
Close.
Yeah.
Looks like they're already lying one.
Don't know if he's going to have a chance to get around.
No, this may wreck on the corner guard. It does, so it's a single point for the Germans. Norway holding on to a 3-2 lead now. I'll get the hammer back. Magnus Ramsfjell and this young Norwegian team.
Going to win game number 2. They're starting 0-6.
Okay.
Can you give me a little last, Chris?
Yeah, never really got it there.
Same way.
Wow, it was big control.
China with the nose hit, so Schuster with one more chance to go for the roll. Definitely wants to keep it in the rings, though, and make Zhou play a shot to get his blank.
Both the same.
Close.
Hair loss.
Close on this one. Whoa.
Close, Lance.
Lance, or go. Go.
Well, trying to give this one a chance, try and make that roll.
A bit more interested in the roll. Not quite there. So now it all comes down to Sol Chiao. Can he
I thought I was going to get there when I let it go.
hit half the rock, spill it away?
Probably could just put room in the center of the rock and just sweep it.
From the second rock of the end, this was the outcome that was looking likely, and now you have to complete it by peeling it out. And this to keep the hammer into the 8th end.
That one in front is out of the rings. For China to retain hammer into the 8th end.
View from above. Once you've got a piece, the sweeper's never going to come off it. Nice shot.
No problem there, hit, roll out. So we have a blank 7th end. That will remain USA leading by a single point over China. It's 5-4 from the NMAX Center in the Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship.
不敢大给这边，我怕大给修。
对，可以，就稍微来一点，擦一点就上去了，一擦就上来了。这局还是站位，咱还得换换套路，让他俩站位，你边上咱他妈用分那个。那漂亮。
I just figured it was a great chance to get a chance to draw and maybe even work another cheap steal, honestly, out of it. So. Yeah, I don't know what happened to their draw there. Jeez. Get inside the hill and it just doesn't go anywhere.
Didn't do anything.
It's into the old flats.
Yeah.
CS flats.
So you guys like 3-1?
Three of the four are still in play. Eighth end about to begin our feature game. China, USA, Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship 2018. Blue Coley here with Hans Frauenlaub.
Mine's great.
A 5-4 USA lead.
Like you gotta go.
Was his first half, that was first four strong for China. USA just able to get a 2 and 5 with a fortunate spin at the end, and since that spin, it's really spun the game.
Attaboy.
Good spot.
Yeah, it brought it from a game that the Chinese had relatively in control into a situation where really either team could win this one from here. Look at the lead play. Spectacular.
That's what you want to see. Getting each end set up near perfection.
A really important blank for the Chinese there in the 7th. Having the hammer in the 8th, so important. Crucial end for them now, and we see Xiao trying the tick shot, trying to move the center guard off that center line. Just gets a tiny bit of contact. Would have liked it a little bit thicker, but he does open up the center line, and he does keep his own stone alive in the back ring as a possible saver. So pretty good shot there from Xiao.
Sweet then now. Do you hit that back one?
Well, decision time for Team USA is kind of how hard do you go for the force?
Inside or above?
No, a 3 closer to the house.
Closer to the house. Okay.
Well, they're going to put the guard.
Yeah.
It is just back of the 12-foot, but it could be similar type end to the last one if China wants to hit it back.
Yeah, and this is the dilemma for the team without last rock in this situation. You know, to get control back, you can't let your opponent score 2, so you go pretty hard for the force.
All you guys now here.
But if your opponent makes a tick like Xiao just did, and rocks accumulating in the rings, instead of giving up the force, you make a little mistake late, and all of a sudden you drop 3 and the game's gone. So that's why it's such an advantage for the team with last rock in this situation. They really do get a chance to dictate it. The team without last rock, they're scrambling a bit, and they can get control, but one little execution error, and then you're in a bit of trouble.
Xiaoxilin missed the tick shot. Again, regular second probably hasn't played a lot of the tick shots.
Wang and Ba really working it. It's pretty light.
Oh, big sweep, and they touch the front.
And you see, as Ba goes, woo! Big effort there. Xiao says, thanks, guys. That one actually hit the guard, and it kept the rotation going. Super sweep.
Probably normal. You like normal or you like control? I like normal. Okay. It's half inch high.
Just a shade high.
So people are, this is the 5th rock at the end, but the US can hit their own.
Yes. You can't remove your opponent's stone in the free guard zone, but open season if you want to hit your own.
Yep. Hard!
For some leagues, we call it the peel of shame, but this is strategic. Trying to drive the stone into the opponent's counter. Nice shot.
Okay. Good. Beauty, Matt. Attaboy.
Well, they get shot stone. They still have the guards.
Attaboy, Matty.
Yeah, but China's got a 2 brewing here.
Shot, buddy. Tick higher.
Matt Hamilton with a little bit of an edge over Wang Xiu. Having a nice game, Matt. There's Wang. Still catching his breath after that big sweep. Pretty hard to go coast to coast and then climb in the hack and throw a little touch shot like this. Shows you how athletic these players are these days.
Full-time curlers, this Chinese squad.
Ba sweeping for curl, but this one has got no line at all. It's going to spill. That opens the door for the Americans to use the center guards, and Schuster right away says, let's go.
Top side of the tee line, Matty. Okay.
Characteristic knee out toe slide of Matt Hamilton.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Hurry, Chris.
State of Wisconsin, a very proud Wisconsinite.
Gotta go.
Are they by? No, they feathered the front.
Okay, that's fine.
Hear the bang brush in the background from Matt. Not happy about it.
Well, he's the only member of the Olympic team not from Minnesota, actually. Didn't go to the Minnesota Vikings game. He's a
big Packers
Green Bay Packers fan.
Yeah.
Not happy. National American football teams.
Yes, that's right.
正往外稍微甩一点。行，你要定点的，他打甩之后也是奔那俩走。
Worried about the jam?
Absolutely. Now, if they do jam, it would mean they'd be behind the center guard and they'd probably still be shot rocks. So I don't think the jam is fatal necessarily, but they don't really want to lose their backstone if they can avoid it.
Another big swoop. Lots of work here. The rushers of China in this end.
USA looking for the inside roll behind cover. Front stones are pretty well staggered. If they can get one in there, they're going to get their force.
Just control. Weight's pretty good. Close, Matt. Lance, stay close. Go, Lance, go. Go, Lance. Hard, Lance, rock.
Sweeping for curl.
Want the roll.
They get a little bit.
Good.
Not completely buried. Maybe half of it still available for China.
Good throw, Chris.
So close.
We might have another look at the double if this roll back is made.
Yeah, it'll be difficult for China not to line up a double takeout. But first job is to get the American stone out of there. Bada Shin.
Wow.
Just control weight. He's going to heck around.
He's not going to remove it. So there's a mistake.
That is the mistake that the Americans were looking for to get the force. Now it's Ba's turn to bang the brush on the ground.
Just got to be a little higher now.
He knows that sets up the force for the Americans.
Comparison of the thirds. Chris Ply's another solid game. 88%. That was 79 of Ba Duxin.
Boy, that one went pretty straight, guys. Yep. It did. Chris Plyce. Great chance now. If the Americans can duck one behind cover, it's almost a guaranteed force for them.
Got some curling to do. Should be okay. Lance, it's you, though. It's definitely Lance.
Want to keep it high in the rings, though. They don't want to set up a double takeout across house.
Yep, go, Lance. Go, go, go. Hard.
That's a good spot. Great shot. Terrific stone from Chris Plyce.
Kind of fudge right at the end there.
I think it feels like it's getting a little flat.
Now, Do you open up the front to make sure you can score, or do you try to hit and roll and somehow play for your deuce the hard way? Things getting a little bit sketchy here for Team China.
Well, 8th end, even if you score 1, it's not the end of the world.
Yep. That'll put you tied up. Do not want to drop a steal to the Americans this end for sure.
I'll try and roll both of them off.
That's a nice clear there by Badishin.
What? John, the freeze is the same thing too if you like it.
Let's just hit. Just this far off center, right on the nose.
Which one are we hitting? The left one?
We're hitting the right one.
What?
Okay.
The one on the right, just on the nose.
And
if it over curls a touch, it's fine.
Right.
Because then we.
Yeah. I'm just throwing normal. I think it'll go out the back one.
That's to line 3.
Yep. Little up. Hard.
Have a look while this stone is in motion at Russia-Sweden.
Normal up. Hard. Do it.
One Swedish stone on the front of the buttons. Sergei Glukov. Possible, but really difficult shot to score more than one.
He made a great run back on his first. Nicholas Sedin drew right in around all the guards.
Trying to get contact on the Swedish stone to push it out of the rings. Is it going to hang around the Russian stone for 2? No, it's just rolled a bit too far, I think.
1.
Looks like a single for Russia. Great try from Glukov.
Wasn't far off, but still trailing by 3 with 2 ends remaining.
China now eyeing up a triple takeout.
Just rolled a hair too far for John.
It did. You hit this stone, top stone, in exactly the right place. You might get all 3. And if you get really lucky, you might get all 3 and stick your shooter. Line 2. Yeah, worth a try. Got to hit something.
Make the double first, give yourself a chance, right?
Yeah.
Great
look from the overhead and the angles. They are lined up. You have to hit it right about where the brush is.
Okay.
Just a little bit less than half.
First of Skip Stones. Has the hammer, trails 5-4. Zhao Jian. Close. Make the top double, clip the back, over the top. Not quite far enough, I think, on the back. It's tough to see.
Terrific shot. Look at his wry expression. He said, "Oh man, did we get all 3?" It's pretty
open
close.
for the back one.
Had to hit the top one fractionally thinner. Did they get it into second shot position? Boy, I'd measure that. Fantastic shot. Great attempt. USA cannot afford to roll out of the rings, that's for sure.
Sure.
What a turnaround. What a great shot.
Could come for the double. Possibly the triple on that one. Did it move it far enough? John's got to make the hit to lie. 1 for sure.
Yeah, 1 for sure. We're not sure about second shot.
Assuming it'll be a hit and then a measure for a second.
Matt.
Plays according to.
Hard, Matt. Come on, hard. You gotta go.
Got to stick first.
They're not going to stick around for second shot. They're going to roll to the wing a little bit. Oh, they've just hung on. Wow.
Fine, buddy.
So close. That would have been disastrous for the Americans. If that had rolled out, it would have just been a little tap for 2 for the Chinese. He knows that was almost death.
Give me a tough one. Fine. Give me an easy one. No.
Schuster at 77% being outplayed by Xiao and just hanging on there.
His hit's been struggling. Well, Zhao, his draws.
My goodness, what an end. Now we think that the USA is line 2. So we think this is a draw against
that's
two.
what with the playing the draw. If they thought they were second shot, they'd probably hit the top one.
Yep. Needs full 12 foot to score. They're on it immediately.
力量，底线看着点，看着点，你看着点。底线，下了没问题啊。
Got to keep it moving.
小吗？
Shallow. Wang on the sweep.
不得
Both 12 foot or better.
And they're fine. Good sweep from Team China. Well, that was an entertaining 8th end. Single point at the end of all of that.
China will tie things up. USA, China, 2 ends remaining. USA with the hammer heading to end number 9.
咱们横着他别漏放了。你这边直了，我给太大，我怕他一直不掉线就废了。没事没事。对14秒5，我这条14秒6。我看看没啥。
It's been a back and forth battle. 5-5 is where we stand. U.S. coming back after being down early. They have the hammer now inside the NMAX Center. We're in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. All tied up. A 2-end game it becomes. And 9th end. Sometimes teams will really work to try and get the blank.
Yeah.
But blank or score multiple points is what the U.S. want at this stage.
Exactly right.
I think it's there. I got lost.
With that force of the single point, now the slight pendulum of advantage swings ever so slightly back in the Americans' favor.
I know, it's high of the tee. Short of the tee.
Looks okay.
Let her die. Just let it die.
Key to maintaining that advantage is what you do here in the 9th.
Attaboy, Steiner. Attaboy.
Good on, bud.
Single point here for the Americans, no good. Blank, ideal. Deuce, very good. 3, game winner.
2还是小，还是小。很小吗？上，小2，小非常小。上，没事，姐。来下，我来都下来，不用动作，来吧。
Well, they didn't quite get the separation on those. So the U.S. get a chance to bring another one in. We'll have a look at that double peels. We see all the scores here in session 13. 5-2, Norway leads Germany in the 9th. We're 5-5 and 9. First final was Switzerland beating Korea 11-2. 8-5, Sweden over Russia.
Stay close.
As they play in the 9th end on sheet D.
It's going, though.
Here it comes.
Wait as long as you can.
Little tap.
Stay close, guys. Stay close, both of you. Oh, Chris. Yep. Hard.
Frozen.
Nice stones here from John Landsteiner. Cozying it right in there. Terrific shot. Well, here we go.
你要用11或者踏板给它磕掉，11，给它直接磕掉。OK。
This is really the decision point in the end. This makes you nervous. You do something with the front stone so you make sure that the Americans aren't scoring that 3. If you're confident, you come around, leave the center guards, throw stones in the rings, still try to generate a force, and that's what the Chinese are doing. This one, though, is looking pretty heavy. Needs some kind of contact. Does? Not bad.
So they move around and roll to the side. Now with that one there, the ones that can cause the trouble for the U.S. are which?
Well, the center guards are the things that can cause the trouble for the Americans. The Chinese can never wiggle one in there behind cover, and even if the U.S. are lying 1, remember the score that the Americans do not want is 1.
I got T-line right now.
Right off.
China would be really happy to give them 1.
No clean. Turn it
The
over.
guards are going to be what
No clean.
lets the Chinese do that.
It's fine to do
Still
this.
there. Still there.
Let her die. Just let her die.
The Americans say if we get stones in great places,
Four.
instead of being frightened by the guards might give us our 3. And that's what they're doing right now.
Well, it was their last loss against Switzerland. They gave up 4 in the 9th, and when Switzerland had the hammer, they'd love to put a 4 up right now.
Sure
like
would.
they gave up.
我90去力量。对，90，刚才那点就行。
Well, still coming around on the intern side for the right-handers. I wondered with Hamilton's stone there if there might have been a play on the outside Yellowstone for the Chinese and rattle them all around, but Wang is going to keep throwing him into the pile. Game of nerves now, folks.
Both teams seem locked in their game plan.
Somebody's going to be really happy at the end of this end, and somebody's going to be very unhappy. No idea who that's going to be just yet.
还是薄啊。
Just on the chip. Didn't quite get as much of the first one they wanted.
USA content to just keep piling them in there behind that center guard. They're lined up pretty well for them right now. They've got the hammer here in 9. Who's going to blink?
Not much less.
5.
All you guys.
If I'm China, I'm starting to reach for the eye drops, that's for sure.
Not more important than anything. Oh, it's curling to do. Wait as long as you can. Now, line's good.
Lance Steiner.
I think it's Chris actually.
Whoa.
Lance.
Whoa. Nothing. Never.
Throws it in there cold. That's a great shot from Hamilton.
Kept that was one triple, but that's Chris.
Again, right in front. Wanted to close up those rings. As
head ice tech, Jamie Barassa, who looks after the ice. Head ice technician with a
done any chance he gets to get some camera time.
Exactly.
But Jamie Barassa is a deputy ice technician. Mike Merklinger done a great job here at the NMAX Center.
Conditions have been excellent. Great building, terrific for the ice techs to work with, and the climate here in Lethbridge, pretty low humidity, so it's almost ideal for preparing fantastic curling ice. It's one of the reasons why this World Championship comes back to this town in southern Alberta. They do a great job. Well, China, you are in the uh-oh territory.
In fact, you're looking at running your own.
Yeah. The game is in big danger of getting away from you here.
点行吗？行。
I'm not sure if it's a straight back or going across the top and looking for some action. If he does go across the top, he would be running the red stone in towards that pile of American rocks. That would be helpful for China right now. They need a lot of help. They're in trouble.
First of the third stones.
Does go across the top, but gets a little action, removes one American stone. That's a little bit better. Nice shot from Badishin, but the 2 stones in the front are still locked in pretty well for the USA. There's a smile from Dishin. USA with a chance to lie 4.
And we talked about time for the U.S. Not a problem now. They're 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's China that should have enough time, but they're now tighter on time with just over 5 minutes.
Yeah, playing in the 9th now, down to 3rd stone. So both teams will need to keep an eye on it, but comfortable amount of time for them to finish their shots.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Just a little outside roll. Sit for fourth.
No, too far.
Sorry, fellas.
It's okay.
Actually, possibly a blessing, honestly. I'll tell you in a minute. Like,
The eternal optimist.
You can nose it.
I'm not sure that was the right call. Maybe it is because he could have maybe hit backside and made the double, but
Well,
if you hit that
another
perfect,
final.
you just you hit the
Sweden
inside
picks
left.
up another win.
He's had it.
9-5 the final. They get one in the ninth end. They knock off Russia, so Sweden move to 7-1. They'll take on the Canadian side tonight. Big matchup of those two. Sure, it'll be a lively building tonight.
Yep. Things will be rocking in Lethbridge tonight, no doubt about that. Three-time world champion against a two-time world champion. Badishin trying to rattle the American stones around. This is a really big shot for China. Might get them out of the end.
Look at them all flat. Get two, get three.
Triple
We'll catch the
takeout.
side one.
Great shot by Badishin. Two stones turn the end around for China. Still in danger of giving up a deuce, but it was looking so much worse just a couple of shots ago. Watch this. 1, 2. Actually touched the other stone as well. Hits the hack. Cats and dogs living together. Things going all over the place out here. One more look. Watch the stone to the right. It's gone too. Terrific.
Matt, you gotta go.
Is this one going to curl enough? The Americans have to keep this one hanging around. It's going to jam and they're going to spill.
Did this one ever change?
Chris
Two
Pleiss
stones.
bangs the brush in frustration. Now China nose hit, and it is a disaster. You can hear Schuster in the background, because if China nose hits this, the force is on. That's exactly what China wants. They want to make the Americans take 1 point. And they are now all set up to do that. What a turnaround in this ninth end.
Well, a 5-5 game. This end has gone the way the game has gone, just the opposite way. U.S. started out well, then China came back. The game started with China leading, and U.S. coming back.
Need to stick around, though. They can't roll out.
Go, 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 go. Hard, hard.
Cannot roll out. Well, they've set up a double takeout for the Americans, so U.S. still now with a glimmer for the blank.
They'll take it on. Need to make it.
Oh, half rock does it, right?
Half rock's good.
With that roll bringing the stones closer together, Schuster can make the double takeout. That would force the Chinese to hit and stick. Schuster can blank. USA keeps the hammer into the ninth, and they would be totally in the driver's seat in that situation.
John needs this one, needs to make the double. Swing the momentum back in their way.
Hard. Hard.
Well, can Hamilton hold it?
Go, go, go.
And he'll hit it on the wrong side and actually roll out.
Has it gone completely out of the rings is the question.
Oh, that end turned fast.
Sure did.
Real funny. My goodness. That end turned fast.
Well, they're going to have the work cut out for them.
I don't know if the...
Going to finish it, get their one.
I mean, it's easy to second guess now, but we could have just kept guarding, but they could have maybe made the double here. You know what I mean? Like,
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Sorry.
China still has to make this draw to set up the
take a run
force.
at the blank.
Well, then it's a decision if the U.S. you want to concede a steal.
Exactly.
哇，等一等。
Exactly. An interesting decision coming up for Team USA.
力量，尽量悬死啊！
提线，提线，
OK， 悬死为主。
提线，
好，可以
Would you rather
下线来，
be?
志远没事。
提线，不能
下线平行也行。
平吗？
平行，平行，不行悬不
One
死。
down coming home.
Hard. OK，
Without.
Let's hear the discussion.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
大家。
OK。
You want to hit this? What do you like better? I think we take our
I guess I don't hate
yeah,
that.
I think so too. Let's just, let's hit it though, Chris. I have tons of confidence in draw weight, but let's just hit it.
You like rolling out better?
No, we're hitting it, just.
Nose?
Because the repercussions on this is that they score one. If I were to short the draw, it's either a steal or two.
中安同学，
I know.
Well, Hans, what do you like?
I'm asking if we want to think about not.
No, we like this.
Hamilton wants the hammer in the 10th.
Okay.
He said concede them the
Let's
one,
control.
go home one down. Schuster says, nope, I want to score. I'd rather be one up.
So that's the talk. Now here's the execution for John Schuster. Looks like they could score multiple points here in the end, but instead they'll take their one and a 6-5 lead for USA over China. We'll head to the 10th end.
I think Jerry's stats say take the one. Yeah, they do.
但投球节奏一定要按正常来，千万不用踢啊！就是咱衔接，他那边对方投的话，球擦完就准备就 OK 了。其他投球千万别快，别一快就劲儿大了。
Heading down the 10th end, a 1-point game. China will have the hammer. U.S. electing to keep the hammer, or give the hammer to China in a 1-point lead by taking one.
Yeah, there was a lot of debate before that final shot of Schuster's in the 9th, and it's a really interesting one. We've got a lot of data that's been accumulated over the last few years about whether it's better to be one up with or whether one down without. A lot of that data has been based on the 4 rock free guard zone rule. This year with the 5 rock free guard zone rule. Used to be quite a marked advantage to be one up without, but that marked advantage now is a very slight advantage. So the U.S. saying we're better to be one up without, but China will be thinking we're absolutely in here with a chance to win the game.
I think a lot of that changes because you can force for one, play an extra end to try and win that game.
Exactly right. Changes the game situation entirely. All depends on the guard setups, though. And that's an excellent first up corner guard for the Chinese.
So if the U.S. goes 2 centers, they draw in.
Yep, this is going to be great, just like that. Whole second half of the game, actually, we've had all kinds of things setting up one way or the other.
I think we're over. I think it's way over.
Careful.
John Landsteiner wants to throw this one long. This is probably the toughest shot for a lead, to throw a long center guard. You just have to throw it just over the hog line because you want that separation. This one's going to slide mid-distance. That's deeper than Landsteiner would have liked. Brings those stones closer together, makes it easier for the Chinese to throw double clears later in the end.
Right. So try and set up the 2. China elect to go around the corner guard.
Zip around the corner right now.
Zhao Xilin, 94% on his draw game.
Important shot here. This is the potential winning point, the second counter that the Chinese will hope to get.
下最后的后虚啊！再来，这边 hard。
Trying to get behind cover. That's well by the guard.
Hard.
Don't think they're going to bury it. No, just half buried, so it's available for the Americans to make a play at.
You got enough to play board?
I mean, I got
Think
3
like there?
quarters. You got to hit thick half, right?
Yeah.
Like
You like that, Brew?
I think that's pretty close.
Weight's good.
Oh,
Close. Yeah, yes! Hard!
really hard.
Hard, Chris!
Gotta go.
He made a sudden move on them.
Go!
Squeak it by the corner guard.
They wanted to roll. They get to the nose.
It's hard to do. Matt looks a little bemused.
Wow.
So now it'll be China that tries to hit and roll behind the center.
Hey,
How about?
What a tantalizing finish we have.
How about?
hard.
We are live in Lethbridge, the Pioneer Hi-Bred World Men's Curling Championship, and this is exactly the kind of play that we came here to see.
这不小啊，这力量。
Try and roll to the center.
Don't roll too far. Pop out in the open.
China knows last resort they can play for their 1 to get an extra, but they'll try and get their 2.
You can be full butt, full forefoot.
Soft ad. Not much.
Line's good.
Line's okay. If
We
you
got
can
some room.
wait. 5,
Line's really nice. Got some room though.
6. Probably Steiner. Wow, boys.
You can go if you need to. Line's good. Steiner. Steiner though.
Can wait.
14-5.
Can wait.
Go ahead. Go ahead now. Hard.
Finish it.
Hard. Let's go. Let's go. Good.
Go.
Attaboy. Attaboy,
So,
Matty.
China, do you double clear now? Or do you come in?
Sweet.
They have that other one in the rings.
They do.
Change the way you make a play. You always have that corner guard you could run in later.
Yep, they have some options.
什么力量？粘磕吗？粘也行，可以的。
China's rationale is we worked hard to get the blank. Even though we'd rather not be playing around center guards, we want to get 2. Means we have to take a little bit of risk. We'll accept that.
大一点，还行。可以等一等。hard，好，力量上去。他线路，hard，他线路，hard，全力 ，go hard，
If they got it by those center stones,
hard，
just gonna feather it. Creep it onto the front 12-foot.
没事，
稍微快点。
Second and third now in the rings.
Timeout's been called by the USA. That stone creeping on the rings does change the dynamics, Luke. Now the Chinese could potentially pick the stone off the button and win the game.
We gotta put a second one in there. If we can't hit the back, we throw a guard to give them a chance to make this to kind of not to answer.
Hitting that any good?
Well, it is. I mean,
Like if you
beaking it
flop
though.
it 6 inches
Right.
to the
No.
right.
Great. I'm just saying, like, to get there though, like. What's that? The hit and roll?
I mean, that was kind of my first
No,
thought now.
I mean that's obviously the best shot on the sheet is a hit and roll, but is it the shot we play? I don't know. Think we got to hit and roll this thing?
Well, if you
It's
don't make
probably
it,
his outrock.
if you don't make it though,
Nah, it doesn't matter. If we don't make it, I still have 2 center guards.
but then he comes and taps that out.
Yeah, but still, Donnie, we still
to
get to
tap
freeze
it
on the
out.
button. We still have 2 guards. Like I mean, you make this great. I mean, well, here obviously, but
What about? Is this any good?
well,
That's the other option.
right.
The only problem with that is you probably don't cross the nose, and this, if it's made perfect, they all
Right.
go and they're buried.
That's why I
That's
don't
why
really like
you
that.
almost like if you could get it to here.
I think it's easier
great.
to get there with the out turn than it is with the in turn.
Well, because this one's in the way.
Yeah.
That's why I think this might be our play for it's your first.
Yeah.
I mean, because that even makes his life tough.
Yeah.
Even if you just beak it and you get any roll this way, his life gets tougher.
Right.
Right. If you get a roll to here, he's probably got to run it.
Yeah.
And then we still just get to go around again, but now he's still got his rock out there
And
probably.
he's got to run it over the top.
Right.
That's the thing. His rock won't be there because if he runs it to the nose, it probably jams it.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Right. So I mean.
So if you make the hit and roll,
But
he
does
runs over the
that
top.
constitute the guard ever? No, I don't think so. I think
No.
we got. I think this is the play.
Hit and roll.
I think we're trying to just roll to here.
Right now.
Maybe roll maybe a chunk over.
Yeah, you probably want to overbury it a little bit.
Well,
right?
I don't want to go here though.
No.
No, we have to be either here
No,
or here.
You want to bury
Yeah.
an edge
Yeah.
of
A
it.
couple inches.
Yeah. You like board here, Chris? Or you like control? Kind of been throwing control all game.
I kind of like.
But if you like board, I'm down.
Like board,
More a timeout.
I feel like it's easier to play than
talk
curl.
about it
Yeah.
than
like board?
necessarily what coach said, but adds his input. Just sort of listened and then reinforced the decision that they made.
I think Don just wanted to make sure that they were considering the option of playing
Roll
the
the split
out-turn
center line.
freeze. They at least looked at it before discounting it.
Board.
And they did briefly, but John's preference always saying hit and roll's the best shot
You all
on
right
the
with that,
sheet
Brew?
if you make it.
I think so.
Okay.
Do you guys like that, or you like a little bit more?
No, I think that's good, bro.
Well, Chris has come up with key shots when needed. Got a couple of miscues in the 9th end that forced him to take one.
Yeah.
Board.
Hard. Whoa. Yes.
Solid board. Solid board.
Hard. Hard.
Good looking stone here.
Hard. Right to it. No roll. Hang on.
Didn't want to go too far.
Attaboy. Beauty.
Pistol, Chris.
Nice shot. Maybe enough still available for China to throw a double takeout across the top of the shot stone.
I had to roll over 2 inches.
Badajin is going to have to hit everything he can see. Even if he makes this, the Americans will have a chance to go around center guards.
Turn up.
Ooh,
Clean. Clean. Yep. Hard.
there's a whoa out of hand.
Whoa. 下一点. Whoa.
Try and pick that one off the button.
And
And
he loses the back one.
takes the real big 2 out of play.
Yep, that makes the 2 tougher.
差一点儿。
Okay.
Well, we don't need to.
Another millimeter of curling, he makes the double takeout, but didn't.
Anyway, this is good too.
Okay.
Americans
You like
now
full
set
eight
up
the best?
really well.
I think so.
This one swings from a
You like
Yeah,
edge?
like overburied.
chance of
Maybe a
China
little
winning
less.
the game to,
Speed should be good.
Playing to force an extra.
I was going to say, starting to feel like an extra end.
A little bit early if you can.
I think line should be good.
Weight's close.
Hard line.
4. Line should be good.
5.
Okay, hard line still.
5.
Okay, easy.
Line's good.
Easy now. Easy, easy.
We're there.
5.
Right off.
curl.
Just let it grind, Matt.
5.
Let it grind.
Let it work.
Last few feet here. Just get it. Split it. Cross line. All the way cross line.
Hard, man.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
2 really nice stones
I
in
love
this
that.
end from Chris Pleiss.
Came through with 2 big ones.
Good pair, buddy.
Okay, China's all in.
I think I maybe would have preferred it higher. But
Well,
that's fine.
looked like they were going to try the freeze. Now they're looking at playing an outside-in jump shot. Seems a bit desperate to me.
And early to play the desperation one.
位置找好一点，那个可以给你留，最后还能用，行吗？
Try to clear the center. I think I would.
差不多一半。
I mean, you're on third, first, or last stone now. You could still double clear front, get some action, maybe rattle the stones around the 4-foot, but they're going to try the angle run now.
Trying to make some noise with this one.
This is your saver rock, so you better make this one if you're going to play it now.
Whoa.
Oh, got anything? Right in?
No,
And
across
over
the
the
top
top.
again. Now China is in real trouble.
They got that side red, but
Yep. Schuster saying, "I'll just peel the side one now." That was the danger of playing this shot early. That was going to be their saver rock, so they had to make it. Badajin twice. Just ripping across the top of the target stones with an angle raise. Right now, China's got nothing.
and I think the side one.
Side one's the saver, and so the U.S. is just going to peel it out.
That's the problem. If you make the angle raise, it's great, but the fact you miss it, you take away one of your options.
That's why I would have played the center clear on that shot. Luke, give yourself an option. Give yourself a shot.
Well, first for John Schuster. His team has a 6-5 lead in this game.
Lead. Lead.
Nice shot by Schuster. So now China, all you got to do, your only shot is to double clear the front
Nice shot, buddy.
and hope that you have a shot on your last. And then we see the finish of the game between Germany and Norway, and the Norwegians come off 5-3 winners. So Magnus Ramsfjell and his young Norwegian team claim another win.
That was a slow start, struggle. They've now won 2 in a row after losing their first 6.
Well, interesting brush position here, Luke. They're definitely not trying to double clear. They're trying to somehow get to those stones in the rings and move them around. I think.
Throw it hard and pick one of them out.
Well, looks like it. Trying to get the stone off the button.
Definitely, if you miss, want to miss hitting something.
Whoa. Clean.
Well, bye. Do they get the back one? Pick the back one off.
Oh, man.
And they open up the button.
Yeah, that's a heck of a shot. Mighty brave, but he made it.
Well, definitely. And let's play for one and try and...
Worth another look. I mean, this is really the setup shot to say, let's open up something so I can at least draw the forefoot and maybe we get to an extra. Picks it off. Terrific shot.
Yep, ideally, right?
All right. You like it?
Like
so what Zhao did with that, he gives himself
Yep.
Yeah,
a
I think
shot.
if you're 1 inch on this side, like that,
USA is going to be able to take away one side or the other, but not
Even your
both.
top 12 right here.
Well, you might be able to make it soft. That's fine, though.
actually, this might be better. Then the hole's not there, and he's got to go around.
Right, I think it goes side by side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Middle. Just
But
a
like
little
the
outside
tight
middle,
side of
maybe,
that,
Chris.
Matt.
I mean,
A little outside
high
middle.
doesn't matter either. It makes him take the wide draw instead of having
I
the
want to take his
halfway.
button away. Make him make something tricky.
Okay.
Half?
Yeah.
So there is a shot on the out-turn side, left-hand side of our sheet,
Yeah, right where you're at. Perfect.
but it's way tougher than
So
the right-hand side of the sheet, so that's what the Americans are trying to take away. I heard John Schuster say, I want to take away his path to the button. Make him play something trickier.
Trying to cap off a well played 10th end by Team USA.
Easy. Line's way out there, too.
2.
Easy, Matt.
3.
Line's great.
The US have done pretty much everything right in this end.
Just the 3.
Right to the P. Right to the P.
Yep.
Oh, it's over curling.
Okay, well then.
Just Lance, stay close, that's all.
I like that spot. I like that.
So,
Good. Under that.
Solchiang is going to play the out-turn. I'm surprised by
Good spot,
this.
man.
Oh,
Great
man.
spot.
All right.
That stone over-curled a bit for me, and I think that the easier way to score would be coming on the right-hand side of the picture around the high guard, because you're always curling towards the button area. Here, your target area is just so much smaller, and your danger stone is the American stone in the front forefoot. You got to get by there, and then you got to stop in the forefoot full. This is really, really hard.
Well, didn't hesitate 1 second. Put the broom down. Zhao Jian to try and force an extra end. Needs full forefoot piece of the button. Last rock of the 10th end.
OK，6、7，我敢小一点，力量为主。7，我敢小一点。提线就行啊，俩人保持力量，线路非常好，正常擦。7 ，OK， 线路非常好，保持力量，开始
The
下
right weight
好，
and
正
the
常。
line.
力量够了。OK， 等。哦，放到提线就 OK 啊。哇哦。
Stop in the forefoot.
Is it going to stop in time?
Has to curl in the forefoot.
No.
Does it stop? It's going to go too far. And it's going to be the steal of one and the victory for Team USA. They escape with this one. A hard-fought game at Team USA victorious 7-5. They pick up the win over China. A hard-fought game right down to the bitter end. Fist bumps all around as we see this final shot.
哦，放到提线就 OK 啊。哇
Needed
哦。
this one to stop. Had to be right on the tee line. Line was perfect. If it stops there, and it goes too far as he sees the disappointment as that one slides by. The week it's been now 1-7 are the Chinese.
Good thing you got a text.
Sixth end, and look at those yellows in there, set up perfectly by Team USA. All the pressure on by the Americans. Zhao Jian does not make it past the front. It is a steal of 2 for the Americans, their first lead of the game.
yellow.
An eighth end after unable to quite make the triple and set up a chance at 2. Zhao Jian has to draw, facing a couple to pick up 1. This will tie the game up as he goes right into the 8-foot.
咱们横着他给他落放了，你这边直了，不要给太大。
9th end and a decision now for Team USA. Do you take one? Do you roll out? Last stone, John Schuster wants to hit and stick, take their 1. And he's right on the nose, so they'll have a 1-point lead into the 10th end. And in 10, draw was deep, and a victory for Team USA. John Schuster and his squad pick up the win with a steal in the 10th end to win it 7-5. The other scores here in session 13, Norway knocks off Germany 5-3. US beats China 7-5 in our feature game, while Switzerland knocks off Korea 11-2. And Sweden wins again 9-5. They beat Russia. Sets our standings with a 3-way tie for the lead. 3 teams at 7-1, Japan, Switzerland, Sweden. Canada right behind at 6-1. USA half game back at 6-2, while Italy and Scotland at 4-3. Then Netherlands 3-4, still playoff aspirations, while Norway, Russia at 2-6, China 1-7, and Korea looking for win number 1 as they are sitting at 0-8 this year's World Championship.
John, that was a real grinded out win. What does a win like that tell you about your team?
I mean, it just reaffirms everything I know about our team, and that, you know, we're a resilient group, and you know, sometimes you have some slow starts or have some tough breaks, and you just got to battle through them. And incredibly proud of our whole team there to battle back from that really tough position early in the game.
This keeps you really much in the hunt now, and looking ahead, what are you looking to take into the rest of the tournament?
Just, you know, keep executing. I mean, we're playing some great ends. You know, we've had a few bad ends that have kind of put us behind the 8 ball. So if we can start eliminating some of those tough ends and put some great ends together, we can have a chance to win this thing.
And what is adding Chris into the team this year? What's changed in your team, and what has it given you that is new?
You know, honestly, it's just adding a great player to a team. I mean, anything about it. So he's a professional, you know, curler, professional third, and happens to be a great friend of Chris's and a really good teammate too. So, you know, and having somebody like that on the team that's got all the shots like the rest of us, you know, it's always it's been a really fun season.
Well, congratulations, John, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
Well, for John Schuster, a big win, and for us, Hans Frauenlaub, myself, Luke Coley, our entire crew, thanks for watching from Lethbridge.
Whoa! Good. Okay, line's good. I think it's fine. Whoa! Whoa.
Yeah.
Got some girls, you. Should be okay. It's half inch